tonight's writer stream, we're having all kind of passionate conversations about stuff and things.
But soon we're gonna have passionate conversations about script.
Yes.
That's what we're here for.
Serial twins. Yes.
I have one. I'm really excited for a little of the old ultra violence. You know.
Wait, are we talking about Serial Twins? The book.
Yeah, like I was just thinking, like
10 pages walking down a hallway that was brightly lit. That book.
I mean, look, I normally think of it as like the twins tend to resort to violence a lot, right?
It's true. Yeah,
they're there to investigate who was framing them. There's a bully. We resort to violence. You know, they didn't resort to violence.
What the book keeps telling us they're there to do. That's not what we really see them do.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they didn't resort to violence against the professor, but then they go back home, and then violence is happening in the nearby apartment.
That's right.
Domestic variety. What's their answer? Violence. And it's like they resort to violence a lot, and some situations where it's just. I mean, I would say like that domestic violence situation we read last time, it was wildly inappropriate. Okay, the husband is, let's just say the husband is beating the wife in an apartment across the way, right?
Yeah.
Like, are you obligated to go intervene? I'm going to say no, but not only do they intervene,
because actually the answer is no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like they not only intervene, they do so in a rather like threatening, somewhat violent style.
Somewhat like not talking to anyone, taking the door down and slapping at people with knives.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah,
and threatening children.
Right.
Yeah,
and that's what. And I was visualizing it more as like, from a Clockwork Orange. Like, like what if the serial twins are in like a bar drinking like drugged out milk and time for a little of the old ultra
violence. Yeah. If only.
Yeah, that's what I feel is missing. But
ultra violence is one of the better kinds of violence.
Yeah.
That's right. Yes.
All right. All right, we have a stage 32 script from a totally new writer here. I know nothing about these pages at all. He gave me, I think, like a log line or a pitch or something, but I don't pay too much attention to that. And here's the thing. Draco is in the Discord asking a lot of advice on a lot of different topics.
Yeah.
And
he was talking about the anime series that'll never get produced. That was
fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder if he's considered that he has to make a successful manga first.
Yeah.
No.
And also, like, he's not Japanese. Good luck.
Yeah. Right. I mean, the days of OVAs are over, so yeah. So yeah.
And another thing is like,
if it's a series, you keep saying you're doing series, Draco, but you keep only showing us 10 pages.
We'll see. I think we have some Draco pages tonight.
We have Draco pages every night.
We do. That's
always new. Yeah.
I mean, he is constantly starting new things and not finishing them. He asked for advice. My advice was finish something.
Yeah.
It's good advice.
It remains good advice. If you want to be a writer, finish writing a project.
Yeah.
That's actually the hard part.
Starting
a project is real easy.
Finishing
having an idea is trivial.
Yeah.
No one cares about your ideas. No one really cares about your first 10 pages. They care about whether or not you have a producible script.
I mean, to talk to George R.R. Martin, like finishing is harder than starting, you know? Right? So, anyway.
But not everybody can be George R.R. Martin.
Well.
Okay, well, everybody can finish. Unlike George R.R. Martin.
Sure.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
That was a compelling case.
Yeah. But the thing was like, I think there was like a Draco question about like pitch decks or something, and like I don't read pitch decks. And like people will go, here's my script, and particularly off stage 32, it'll be here's my script, and here's like other stuff that I created that's like there to sell you the script. And I'm like, I don't care about that.
Is your response that's nice? Do you have a script?
Right. Yeah. Like I really just like show me the pages, and that's all I want to say.
Well, that's it. Like a pitch deck isn't a finished product. You're trying to sell a thing that's not done yet. It's way easier to sell a thing that's done because you don't have to do the work again later.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you can work on another thing and have multiple things. And then when your pitch fails, you can actually sell something that people are interested in.
Indeed.
Yeah. A lot of pitching is, so what else you got? Now, Draco has that under control. But they still need to be doable projects, and you need to actually know where the story goes. And that includes like what the crisis is and how it ends.
Yeah. If anything, I'd say Draco is ready for like somebody to go, okay, give me your top 6 projects. He's like, all right.
I mean, sure, but he doesn't know where any of them goes.
Well, yeah, but you know, like if nobody likes them, well, why did it matter? Would be the response.
Well, I mean, he needs to be able to say what the stories are about, like in terms of themes, not about characters.
Yeah.
Jesus, no one cares about your characters either.
All right. Who wants to narrate? I could do it.
I'll do it. I'm talky and being bitchy, so I'm going to distract myself by reading Interior, Charlie's apartment night. Charlie's apartment, neat, beige, and utterly forgettable. Generic IKEA furniture fills the space. Charlie, mid-30s, slouched on the couch, watches Antiques Roadshow with a non-alcoholic beer in hand. His face defeated. Okay, that answers my one question.
Yeah.
Charlie being an ambiguous name.
Yes.
The appraiser.
Okay, sure.
I know a bunch of Charlottes.
Okay.
The appraiser on screen examines a porcelain vase full of enthusiasm. The appraiser.
I'll be the appraiser. This piece is simply exquisite, priceless craftsmanship.
Also, dude, it's your first page, and that's a formatting error.
Sure. Yeah, that's true.
I'm just saying. There's quotation marks, whatever.
Yeah.
We need a Charlie as well, so that's going to be Larry. Larry. Okay, it's going to be John.
Yeah.
That's a nice vase.
Charlie takes a long swig from his bottle before putting a coaster down and setting his beer on the coffee table. A knock interrupts his brooding. Enter Adam, mid-30s, in a suit brimming with chaotic energy. He surveys the room with mock horror. I guess, Preston, you're going to be Adam because Larry is like MIA.
Larry's gone. All right.
Yeah, I'm roboting. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Larry, do you not want to read for Adam?
No.
You should really lock your doors. Geez, this is exactly what I picture a serial killer's apartment would look like. You dressing like that doesn't help either, you know. Hey, you finally took down the photos. That's progress. You threw them away, right?
Yep, sure did.
Liar.
7 years of marriage can't just be thrown away, Adam. Plus, who knows, maybe in the future, there's a chance we might get back together.
I love it. Adam grabs a beer from the fridge and takes a big gulp, only to spit it back into the sink.
What the hell is this? What did I just put in my mouth?
My cock. No, it's an alcoholic beer.
The script took a John Lamont direction.
Yeah. Wow.
Did we get the line out? Okay. Non-alcoholic. Of course it is.
These are the good kind. I can't even tell the difference.
It's got no joy, no soul. Kind of like you. Did she take that too? I'm kidding. Come on, man. You got to move one. Life's too short to be a drinking beer that doesn't get you drunk and hung up on your ex-wife. It's time to get back out there. That's, which I think should be apostrophe.
There should be
the only way. Yeah. The only way you're going to get over this bitch.
Don't call her that.
Adam tosses the bottle in the trash, shaking his head.
Hate to break it to you, buddy, and no disrespect to your now current ex-wife, but she has a major.
So what's your solution? Get another bitch?
Yes. Listen, how long are you going to be hung up on this B chick? It's done. It's over. Finito. You both signed the divorce papers. It's, which also needs an apostrophe right there. It's time to move on, Charlie. I hate seeing you like this, man. That's why I'm here. I got a surprise for you.
Charlie tenses, glaring at Adam. Oh, look, it's a formatting error. Your parentheticals need to be on their own lines.
Yeah.
I'm not going on another one of your blind dates. Last time you set me up with a prostitute.
Sex worker.
Couldn't make it with a prostitute? What's wrong with this guy?
Yeah, well, maybe he didn't want to pay for it, John.
Someone else paid for it.
If Adam was a real friend, he would have prepaid in advance.
Oh my God.
That's a good point. Yeah, Adam. That was Adam there.
Like,
I mean, we are probably just reading.
If I'm hooking my bro up
right
with a prostitute, I'm paying in advance. That's
how.
That's part of the
believe that they're actually successful, as opposed to this was a prearranged encounter with a predetermined outcome. Right. You want to create the illusion that your friend could really score with a hot chick.
Right. That's the way. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like there was a whole. What was the whole episode of what TV show was that?
Sex worker, and they prefer to be called escorts. It's 2025. Who says prostitute anymore? Sex work is real work, Charlie.
Oh my God.
They play a very important role in our society and should be treated with respect, just like any other woman.
I love this script so far. Like, I'm not being facetious. I really, really do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just called my wife a bitch.
No, I called your ex-wife a bitch. Big difference. Okay, fine. I'll stop calling her that. And if I remember correctly, you had a very pleasant evening with Nikki.
Yeah, until I found out she was paid to be there.
Oh shit! Okay, you know. All right. Then Adam did the bro code, right? Like
he did.
He is utterly the overbearing best friend. I love this character.
Yeah. So what? You had a good time, didn't you? That's what matters.
She was really nice.
Adam notices the fine china on the shelf.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Every Tuesday, I'll let her know you said hi. Anyway, speaking of good times, I got 2 words for you.
Isn't it a violation of bro code to share?
I don't know. We'll need to call up Molby because he's time in the manosphere discussing men affairs. And like, this is a bro code question. I feel like Molby, as a black voice, would be, more authoritative.
I'm going to suggest that because this is like page 2?
Yeah.
We are currently establishing their incredibly toxic dynamic.
Yeah. Yes. All-inclusive company retreat. They want me to go for some conference, but Sarah wants to go hiking this weekend instead. So you're going to go for me.
Sin City? Las Vegas?
Adam inspects the fine china on the shelf.
America's playground. Wow. She took the dog but left you the fine china. That's straight up evil, man. Didn't you have that dog?
I like that. That's a good line. I like that. That is a good line. Her lawyer was really good.
Look, if anyone needs a vacation right now, it's you, and what better place than Vegas?
I think I'll pass.
Adam inspects a teapot from the collection of fine china like a pitcher sizing up a fastball as he pretends to throw it.
You either go to Las Vegas or I'm going to smash this stupid little teapot and the rest of these fancy plates into a million fucking little pieces. You choose. Boy, Adam is really strong, I think.
Wow. Okay.
He has no chill. I love it.
I know.
His pedal is to the metal. He's in a Cybertruck and he is stuck on the gas.
Except the Cybertruck doesn't have gas.
Yeah.
Whatever, on the accelerator.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're not smashing anything, Adam, and I'm not going to Las Vegas. I've got a lot on my plate right now.
Like what? Watching the Antique Roadshow and drinking beer that doesn't get you drunk?
What am I even supposed to do in Vegas?
I don't know. Have fun. You do remember fun, right? Because right now your face is telling me it's never experienced it before.
I have plenty of fun here. Plus, I'm not cut out for a place like that. I appreciate what you're trying to do, but the last thing I need is a trip to Vegas.
Fine. But you're going to regret being this boring when you're old. Like, older than you already are.
We're the same age.
Not emotionally. Are you seriously not going to go? What more do you want? This is like every guy's dream. It's Vegas. It's free. Take some vacation days that you never use and go blow off some steam. God, do you know how many guys would kill to be in your position right now?
I don't even gamble.
It's not even about gambling. It's about living your life, Charlie. Look, I didn't want to do this, but you leave me no choice. This is going to be like ripping a Band-Aid off my nuts, well more than ripping a Band-Aid off your nuts. Just remember, I'm doing this because I love you.
God.
It sounds like your life.
Diane's one page into this, and she's loving it.
Right? It's so good.
It's a story of his life.
What's this?
Lindsay's Instagram story.
Adam shows Charlie his phone, swiping through photos. A photo of a blonde woman showing off an engagement ring. A young guy on a sleek back motorcycle. The final picture is of her smiling with her new lover.
She got engaged? I mean, good for her. I'm happy for her. She deserves to be happy.
Charlie goes to grab another non-alcoholic beer and swigs it, trying to hide his vulnerability and hurt.
No, you're supposed to say, to hell with that bewitch. I'm going to Vegas to have the time of my life.
Adam grabs a piece of fine china, ready to smash it.
Don't you dare, Adam. Put it down now.
Adam puts down the plate and pulls an envelope from his blazer and tosses it onto the kitchen table.
Okay. I won't break your precious little plate, but I'm going to leave this here in case you change your mind. Shit, I'm going to go. Wifey is calling. Told her I was going to take us out. That was like 4 hours ago. Hey, babe, you're not going to believe how long this line is. Seriously, why would I be lying? I'm not going to take a picture because it's weird.
All right, so that looks like he's talking to two different people, which means those should be two different dialogue tags.
Yes, there should be a little break there, yeah.
With pauses and action, like he picks up his phone.
Yeah, yes, yeah. I concur.
Adam
has a beat when she's talking.
What?
And takes a beat when the other person is supposed to be talking.
Yeah, and there should be some pauses in there where he waits for her as well. Yeah.
Adam heads for the door. He pauses by the china shelf, grabs a plate, and bolts for the exit. Charlie follows.
Adam!
The sound of shattering porcelain echoes from outside. Oh my God, is this a one-camera sticks sitcom?
I guess.
I love this.
I got neighbors, for Christ's sake. HOA is going to be all over my ass.
Sorry, not sorry. Try it. Trust me, you'll feel a lot better. And if by some miracle you do end up don't fall in love with a stripper. Love you, buddy. Babe, nobody said anything about strippers. I said zippers. Why would I be talking about strippers? Listen, I'm heading back now. Just order a pizza or something. Okay, fine. I'll order it.
Adam walks off to his car. Interior, Charlie's apartment night. Charlie sits at the small kitchen table. The envelope Adam left resting in front of him. He looks at the teapot and slowly tips it too far. The teapot tumbles off the edge of the table, shattering into pieces on the floor. Oh my God, a symbolism happened. I'm so happy. Charlie freezes, staring at the fragments. Slowly, he kneels down and begins to clean up the shards and throwing them into the garbage. Interior, Charlie's bedroom night. Charlie lies on his back in the dark, staring at the ceiling fan. His gaze drifts to the empty side of the bed, untouched, yet still haunted by memories. His eyes land on a framed photo on the wall, a younger, happier Charlie with his ex-wife, frozen in time. His jaw tightens. After a beat, he rises, takes the photo down and sets it aside. He exhales, then sinks back into bed. Interior, Charlie's room, morning. The first rays of sunlight filter through the blinds. Charlie pulls a suitcase from his closet, tossing in folded clothes. He walks into the kitchen. Grabbing the envelope from the table, he He stops at the door, scanning the apartment one last time, then steps out. Music cue, Ain't It Fun by Paramore. No, you can't afford that shit. Interior Las Vegas Airport Terminal Day. The airport hums with energy, a mix of arrivals and departures, excitement and exhaustion. Slot machines flash and jingle in the background. Charlie walks off the plane and makes his way through the airport. A group of 5 women in matching sashes and tiaras poses for a selfie near a luggage carousel. They are giddy and vibrant, their energy cutting through the airport chaos.
All right, ladies. On 3, say Vegas!
The group cheers as the phone snaps a photo.
Girls, friendly reminder, what happens in...
She's interrupted by a loud airport announcement notification ding. As Charlie walks to the airport, the departure board flashes destinations. Paris, Amsterdam, Miami, Moscow, Tijuana. Charlie looks at the people on the terminal slot machines as he walks past them. A balding man in a wrinkled polo shirt is focused on the slot machine in front of him. He looks similar to Charlie, but in a worse condition. Suddenly, the machine lights up and blares as it announces a mega jackpot.
I feel like that would never happen at an airport slot machine, but
probably not.
Yeah.
The airport slot machines are absolutely there to screw you.
Well,
all the slot machines are there to do that, Preston.
Yes, but I'm saying like casinos have to kind of like, oh, look at this. We pay out a certain amount. That's why you should come play with us. Whereas like the airport is like, well, you're here.
Yeah, while you're waiting for your next plane.
Yeah.
Might as well.
Yeah. Anyway,
someone should give the line though.
Walking out of an airport in
Vegas,
and it's like weird.
oh, holy crap! I won. I actually won. Haha! I actually won for once. I never win. Oh my god! Yes.
He jumps in place, laughing and clapping. The flashing 247159 mega jackpot winner on the slot machine plays an animation of gold coins falling from the sky. He goes back to playing the slot machine despite winning. Charlie continues to walk through the airport, a little lost, but also taking it all in. He passes a group of hungover men. A group of 4 young men in rumpled clothes wait for their flight at their terminal, looking like they just survived a disaster. One of them, Dave, is passed out in a wheelchair.
Larry.
All right. I told you this place would break him.
He crouches and begins drawing a mustache and Vegas 2025 on Dave's face with a black marker. The others try to hold in their laughter.
Some people aren't built for Vegas.
Come on, guys. This isn't funny. It's hilarious.
Shut up. He's waking up.
What's up? What did I miss?
The camera pans. Wait, which camera?
Oh.
The camera phone? And whatever.
Right.
Also, don't do that.
Yeah.
To show Dave's face, it now resembles a high school desk. To include that S-like chain symbol everyone used to draw. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Interior Las Vegas Airport. I mean, whatever. It's the art department's problem.
Yeah.
Interior Las Vegas Airport Day. Charlie continues to navigate through the airport, looking completely out of place. Interior Las Vegas Airport Escalator Day. Charlie gets on the escalator. A man in business attire joins him, loudly talking on his phone.
What do you want me to do? Go out on the tarmac and try to fix it?
The loud man chuckles nervously, adjusting his tie.
Look, I'll take the first flight out tomorrow morning, okay? What? Vegas? Why would I be in Vegas? I told you I quit gambling. I've been going to meetings, staying off the apps. Babe, listen, I gotta go. There's a security checkpoint up ahead. I can't be on my phone. Okay, talk to you soon. Okay, love you too. Bye.
Charlie glances at him, unimpressed. His eyes narrow as the man catches Charlie's expression and realizes he's being overheard.
Don't judge me. You don't gotta live with her. What happens in Vegas? Damn it, now what is it?
I feel like this is a potentially funny and potentially really annoying running gag.
Yeah.
The man is interrupted when his wife calls again. The moment reminds him, what, the man? Okay.
Yeah.
Of his own failed marriage. Oh, Charlie. It reminds Charlie.
Yeah. Oh, it reminds Charlie.
Charlie walks past the loud man and out the exit. Exterior taxi stand, Las Vegas Airport Day. A bright yellow 1982 Checker Marathon cab pulls up in front of Charlie suddenly.
Oh my!
Oh boy!
Charlie hesitates and gets into the taxi cautiously. Interior taxi day.
Wait, okay, who's still driving 1982?
I don't know.
Muhammad. Muhammad is like,
Welcome to Vegas. First time.
Yeah.
Hey, what happens here stays here, right?
Muhammad pulls into traffic quickly, nearly crashing with another car, maneuvering through the chaos of the strip. Muhammad yells something in a foreign language out his window when another car cuts him off.
So what brings you here? Gambling? Women? Men? I only ask because you don't look like the usual guy who comes here. You got a very safe energy like a librarian. That's a good thing. You won't believe how many crazies come here. This place is like me. Wild, horny, and a little dangerous.
Oh, he's hating on Charlie. I love that. I'm not here. Oh, sorry. That's not
I'm not here for any of that. I honestly don't know why I'm here. I guess I just needed a change of scenery.
Heartbreak. I could see it in your eyes. The eyes never lie. Don't worry. Vegas will heal your soul. Maybe even make you rich if you're lucky enough. In this town, your luck can change like that. Change your whole life for better or for worse. All right, 10 pages.
Oh my God.
Diane, you came in 4 pages in. What did you think?
It's the dialogue's very cute. I agree that it does need some beats, but overall, it's all right. It's good. I kind of curious about the other half of the conversations. Probably, I'm just curious.
There we go.
It's probably not necessary. But
wait. We have an answer on the bro code. Eiffel towering is all the rage these days, so it is bro code. There you go.
What is that?
Eiffel towering?
Yeah.
Okay. That's when you have a woman between you. You're both standing, and you have a woman between you. She's got her mouth on one and her like whatever on the other one. And while you're doing that, you and the other guy high five. So it's like
okay, so all right. Sorry, I really went over my head. That is absolutely not what I thought it would be.
Okay, anyway.
That's great.
I didn't even know that was a thing, or that it was called that.
John Lamont.
I mean, look. The thing is, you have to look. The internet is
all right, guys.
Read it on the internet doesn't mean it's really real.
Okay,
right? But on the internet, it's like a thing,
Yeah,
anyway, and I'm so ugly. Last time I got a hooker, she said, "Whoa!" Not on the first date. There you go. So, yeah. All right. So where were we? Were we with you?
Where you were with me? Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Look, it's I'm a gambler.
Yeah.
I've been to Vegas many times. I enjoy stories set in and around gambling, Las Vegas, all that shit. Although because I am very experienced at times, I will be like, that's not realistic. But
like airport casino.
I mean, yeah. At some point, I'm like, I feel like it bothers my gambler sensibility that the airport slot machine paid off. I'm like, that should never.
I've only seen an airport gambling thing pay off.
Yeah,
$50.
Yeah, like airport games, airport slot machines. They're the worst. But I found it an enjoyable introduction to a story.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of a little bit have some of the conflict already framed, in that how is our friend Charlie, who's recently divorced, going to fare in this fish out of water scenario in Las Vegas? I'm interested to see how it goes. John Lamont.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Characters are interesting, a little over the top, which was good. You kind of need that for a more comedic story. So having eccentric, over the top characters definitely nailed that. Yeah, I'm guessing. I actually don't even. I'm guessing the four guys in the airport was probably a reference to Hangover or something like that. But yeah, no, it was very it was a very good setup. And yeah, a lot of fun.
Larry.
Yeah, dialogue's decent. It's funny. It's quippy, which is all stuff you want in a comedy. So, it works that way for sure.
Okay,
Danny.
I'm gonna have a ton of things to say here. So firstly, I have this is the compliments part, dude.
Okay.
Firstly, I find it interesting that this is not a romantic comedy, or else we probably would have had our meet cute by now. So this is either comedy or drama, and I'm not sure which. That's really, really cool. I think it was excellent that you got the main character, you got their vibe across on page 1. And you gave us their main decision on page 3. We know what the story is. Lost in his life dude goes to Vegas and finds himself, right? Because by the end of 10 pages, we don't have a meet cute. So that was incredibly effective.
Unless Muhammad's the meet cute.
Unless Muhammad's
we have the writer here. By the way, if you want to join and give your response live, here I'll post it.
You have also done two of the hardest things to do in any kind of script writing, which is write interesting characters who are distinguishable from each other. You've done that so successfully, your fucking side characters are memorable. Muhammad, who we're probably never going to see again, is great. So good job.
I don't think he would. I don't think he'd have a name and would show up in that car.
Okay, but you get my point. And more importantly, you've also done something that's incredibly smart, which is you've successfully written two people in a room in a way that's interesting.
Yay!
Which is actually
very hard to do.
It's very hard to do. It means you have to actually know what the hell your story is and what your characters are about, and you just stick them in uncomfortable situations. You have a great character in Adam who does that. But also, if you wanted to turn around and literally take your first 6 pages when we're just in that house location, you have 2 people, 1 location. You can film that and use it to pitch tomorrow. So this is an incredibly strong opening, especially for a film. See, I can say nice things.
There you go. Constructive. Well, Danny, go ahead. Why don't you start?
Your formatting's a bit janky, so you should work on that. Also, the second half of what we read, Charlie was really, really passive. Now, I know why we did that, but it also went on for quite a while. Although the hangover gag is cute, get your own gags. The slot machine gag may well be one of them. But the girls weren't really a gag, and the dude who kind of looked like whoever it was who was on the escalator was like, eh.
Loud man.
So you have a couple of really dead minutes before we meet Muhammad.
Yeah.
And you should punch it up.
And anybody else?
Well, yeah, that's all I was gonna say. It just needs to be a little tighter. It's good. It's good, but it goes on for a bit too long. Even at the apartment, I think could be tightened up quite a bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Could be
I thought it was a good first draft.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I don't know why you declared war on apostrophes. You don't use them at all. They're kind of your pal, but
yeah.
I thought it was a pretty strong open. So yeah, I look forward to seeing where it goes from here.
And there was a line in the script. I was going to mention it, but about something about the dog, about her taking the dog.
Yeah.
That was a really good line, and it reminded me of the line from True Lies. But your line was better because people love dogs more than they like ice cubes. But when what's his name? Now I'm blanking on the. But anyway, when the dude's talking to Arnold, when Arnold first thinks that his wife is cheating on him, and he's talking about his divorce, and he's like, "The bitch took the ice cubes out of the freezer," which was a funny line, but I think your line was better than that. So it reminded me of that, but it was a better version of that basic thing because everybody loves dogs. So I just wanted to compliment you on that too. I thought that was a good line.
Anyway, there we go. Well, yeah, you show some promise.
Yeah, show up on the stream and you can tear our writing to pieces.
It's really great.
And the story made sense. That was good. Yeah,
and we only had one main character to focus on, and it was really easy to follow one character. hint to some of the other people.
So Draco, Rucker, pay attention.
All right, so here we go. The 7th draft of PSA. Joseph is not here, but
Joseph was just commenting and said he's on his way home. So
all right, then we'll do this later.
We'll hold that one. Yeah,
but he is on his way. I did just message him.
Cool.
Okay. Anything? All right, we have Draco's script from last week.
Okay.
So is this a revision? Is this page 11 through 20?
It's a file in scripts. Yeah. That's
all right. Is it his anime series? Because I haven't read the first 10 pages, I think, by Draco. It's so long.
All right, let's see. We're starting on page 1.
Oh my.
All right. Who wants to narrate?
Holy shit.
I'll narrate.
Go ahead.
Page 1.
Oh man, I dodged a bullet there going first.
Yeah.
Thanks, John.
Yeah.
Page type, splash page. Setting, overgrown jungle ruins at dusk. Mood, tense, grim, reverent silence. Focus, introduce Kenthra alone. Establish tone and setting. Hint at the supernatural. Splash panel description.
Diane's already cracking up over here.
A wide moody shot of ancient jungle ruins swallowed by moss, roots, and silence. Crumbling stone pillars jut from the earth at odd angles, overgrown with vines and lichen. A weathered statue of a forgotten god.
That was in boldface, right? Do you have to scream it?
Yes.
What? A weathered statue of a forgotten god leans broken against a collapsed wall, its face eroded by time, its eyes empty. Kethril, a lone ranger. Wait, isn't this the script we did last time?
I think so, but
yes, Draco definitely changed the title and apparently made the format worse.
Okay, Kethril, a lone ranger in a torn cloak, stands at the edge of the ruins threshold. His body is tense, weight shifted to one foot, hand resting near the dagger strapped to his thigh. His other hand holds a tavern-worn torch that barely casts light through the dense, misty jungle. His face is hard set, jaw clenched, eyes fixed warily on the ruins' shadowed entrance. Behind him, dense canopy blots out most of the sky. There are no birds, no wind, no movement. Of course not, because it's a comic book.
Yeah. Well, apparently
the entire frame is shadowed.
There can be birds in a comic book.
Yeah.
But there are no movement.
That's true.
I agree.
Yeah.
The entire frame is shadowed in rough pencil textures, deep cross-hatching for shadows, stark contrast between light and dark. I mean, isn't that the illustrator's job?
Diane, are you bashing your head against something yet?
Yes, I am.
The statue.
I'm like, how dare you tell me how to do my technique?
Exactly. Holy shit.
The statue and Kenthril's silhouette anchor the left and right thirds of the page. The center is negative space, leading towards the black arch of the ruin.
The center is the negative space?
Apparently,
too
That's
open.
classy.
Yeah.
See.
Hey, Diane.
Yes. You're
is
supposed
the center
to be
the best place for negative space?
Absolutely, yes. It is.
No, see, Diane. You need to think of this as an AI, and this is your prompt.
If you want something
hold up. All right, John, go ahead.
I was like, you have to think of this as an AI. This is your prompt, and you need to do what the prompt tells you to do.
Well, fuck you.
There
Hey, Diane, how much would you charge per page for this level of description and micromanagement?
Quite a bit actually. Probably triple my price.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
if you want me to do this, I'm like, yeah, I want you to know that the composition is gonna suck.
So this is like $600.
But I'll do it.
Like minimum
know.
$600 to pay.
Make sure you charge for changes when he doesn't like the way it's actually drawn.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Yeah.
That's extra, man. That's extra. So,
All right, we have
Text
a caption.
elements, caption, Kenthrall,
elements?
inner monologue.
Elements.
Are you fucking kidding me? Okay, hold on. Can we just pause for a second? Draco,
Yes.
text
Yeah.
you've been
elements,
here
what's
for
that?
at least
I
6
don't know what
months.
a text
You've
element
seen a comic book script before.
Yeah.
Why don't you just format it like that? Can you
It's
just
really not
format
that
it
hard.
like that?
Yeah.
You've seen one. 4 comics writers, Preston, John, myself, and Larry, regularly post scripts
Yeah.
that are properly formatted. Just do that.
Mostly. Yeah.
Is that fucking hard?
Anyway.
Just do the
Well,
thing.
Larry does have that
Do it.
problem with his dialogue where he likes to do everything centered and it's weird.
Yeah. I like myself.
Well, okay, don't do it like Larry, but do it like Preston, John, or me. I don't even care if your spelling's as bad as John's. Just do it like that.
All right, I'll be Kenthrall. I should have walked
Oh,
away.
I'll be
Yeah.
SFX. Grip.
Title issue title, bottom of the
Oh my
page in
God.
chiseled serif font. Now he's doing your job, Danny.
Yep.
Yeah,
Paramore
I do not
Chronicles.
like that. I'm this genuinely. I think you're right, John.
There we go.
Draco, you're no. Draco, you're making us read your AI prompts. We are against AI. This is not acceptable.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's
Mhm.
page 2.
Sure, let's go.
Yeah.
Page 2. There we go.
Signs beneath the stone, setting inside overgrown jungle ruin. Characters, Kenthrall and Drenna. First visual introduction of Drenna. Goal, establish the space, escalate tension, and begin the glyph activation subtly. Wait, why don't you just do it instead of
Why
telling
don't
us
you
to
just
do
do
it?
it?
Just fucking do it.
okay.
Yeah.
What is establish the space
I don't know. I have no idea.
and escalate
We're
tension
just
in a
proofreading
drawing?
AI prompts. We have better things to do with our time. Actually, right now we are waiting for Joseph, but I'm going to tell him.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we do have my script, but panel
Yeah,
1,
okay.
description. Kenthrall steps into the shadowed interior of the ruin, torch held low. The walls are close and carved with faint, weather-storm reliefs, cracked crowns, worn swords, and circular motifs barely visible under moss and time.
Scrape his boot brushing loose stone.
Keep your eyes open.
Panel 2, description. Drenna enters behind him, her form lit by the light, from the side, by the torchlight. She's younger, sharper-eyed, wearing layered leather robes and a loose braid. She runs her hand along a stone mural, 5 crowned figures etched in profile.
You want to do that?
These aren't just ruins. These are records.
Now scratch that record, baby. Panel 3,
Yeah,
description. Close-up of Drenna's fingers brushing one of the crown carvings. Fine dust falls as she touches it. Underneath something carved, a spiral pattern, partially obscured, not glowing. Oh, but unnerving in its symmetry. I mean, why are you telling us what it's not glowing? That makes no sense.
Okay.
That's you.
This wasn't meant to be seen.
Quietly.
Panel 4. Kenthrall kneels beside a sunken circle of stone in the center of the chamber. Cracks web outward from it like an impact mark. His hand hovers over. He doesn't touch it. Right, because his hand is hovering over it, like you just said.
Oh.
The air seems heavy.
It's a seal, not a floor.
Panel 5. Angle
Joseph
between the
said-
two rangers. In the far dark of the ruin behind them, where the torchlight doesn't reach, then how do we see it? A thin sliver of dust floats unnaturally upward as if gravity forgot it. Neither of them sees it.
Tick, tick, from deeper inside.
What?
I'm reading the fuck.
We're not alone.
Page 3, the seal stirs. Setting, blah, 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 blah. Panel 1, close on Kendra's eyes, narrowed. Alert, scanning the room. Sweat beads at his temple. Something is wrong, and he feels it before he sees it.
The air's changed.
No whisper.
Panel 2. Brenna crouches near the center seal now, brushing away loose debris. Beneath the dust, she uncovers more of the spiral motif etched deep. Still not glowing, but unsettling in its precision. Her brow furrows.
Is it unsettling because it will have been drawn by AI?
Probably.
I feel unsettled.
This isn't Elven. It's older.
There you go.
Panel 3. A wide, low-angle shot. Cracks. Begin to form.
Whoa. Oh, my goodness. Draco, are you actually with us?
Is it happening?
Is it happening?
Is he going to respond to criticism like an adult?
I don't know. All right. Well, welcome to the
Draco,
show.
are you here?
I'm not sure if his microphone's working, but he's at least present.
Yeah,
Hi.
All right. Where were we? All right.
A wide, low-angle shot cracks begin to form across the circular stone seal. A chunk of stone splinters and shifts slightly upward with a faint grinding sound. But is it glowing? Both
Well,
Kendrell
also,
and
how are you going to draw the faint grinding sound?
Yeah.
both Kendrell and Jenna jerk to attention.
Tick, tick.
Step back.
Panel 4. Kendrell pulls Drenna by the arm, moving her behind him as he unslings his bow. But I thought he had a... whatever. Dust trickles from the ceiling. The room feels smaller now, compressed, like it's holding breath.
You got a line.
I didn't cast anything, I swear.
Panel 5. A slow, deliberate panel. The
Hey,
spiral
Diane, how would
carved
you draw
seal.
that?
Very slowly and very deliberately, like it says. Come on, Danny,
Oh,
keep
that's
up.
an extra like page.
So
rate
it's
then?
going to be like half drawn. That's probably what it is. As yet
That's gotta be it.
incomplete.
The spiral carved seal in the floor shifts open slightly, revealing the thinnest sliver of a dark void beneath. No light escapes it. From the crack, a faint wisp of dust rises. Not smoke, just dust rising upward.
It's opening.
Also,
Page
how are
4.
we going to show dust rising upward in a comic?
That's not smoke.
Yeah.
I
It
mean,
looks like it's dust. Trust me.
Yes.
okay.
Anyway.
Okay. I'm going to skip what Draco thinks he's trying to tell us, and let's go right on to what he is actually telling us,
That's
which
probably a
is
good
page
idea.
4, panel 1. Close up. Kenthrill's boot slides slightly as the ground beneath him vibrates. He's caught off balance,
Slightly.
bracing against the stone wall. Behind him, the spiral seal is now fully cracked, forming a ringed fracture around his position.
Kendra!
There you go.
Kendra.
Panel 2.
You might not do your best, but you can hear me now, though, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Welcome to the
Welcome.
show.
All right, so the headphones weren't working.
Thanks for making it in. Yeah. So where are you from, anyway?
So, New Mexico, Albuquerque.
Neat. Awesome. Yeah, we got Abraxas, aka Kyler. He's out of the New Mexico area. he treats the show the way like a fair number of writers do, which is when he has pages that for a story he wants to make, he'll come in and there they are. But other than that, he doesn't really show up that much. But you have pages all the time. But yeah, New Mexico is it's the neighbor of Texas where I am, and I do comic book shows there, and certainly there's
You've been to Albuquerque many times.
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunity for comic books in New Mexico.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get away from that habit of starting something and not finishing it. So this is like the first one that I've actually finished already. And then we did it 2 weeks ago, and I did the rewrite. So this is the
There
rewrite,
we go.
which is a little bit more. It's a little bit more detailed than I wanted it to be. So there's a lot of information on there that shouldn't be on there, and I'm still kind of trying to break that habit.
Okay.
There's a button that says delete or backspace. You just highlight stuff you don't like, and then hit that button. And then you don't have to read it.
There we go. Right. Panel 3.
Okay, panel 3. Wide panel from Kenthrill's perspective. Then wouldn't it be a
did you say
POV? The murals on the wall begin to shift. Not animated, because this is a comic, and you can't animate pages in a comic. But the scenes revealing themselves beneath flaking plaster. One mural shows the 5 kingdoms in flames. Worn banners torn, skeletal armies trampling the dead.
This happened or will happen.
Panel 4, another mural, this time showing 5 figures standing apart, each from a different kingdom. One is armored, one cloaked, one robed, one crowned, one bare-chested. Hopefully that's a she that's bare-chested.
Yeah.
They face a single towering silhouette in the background, featureless, but with antlers made of bone. Then he has
it's not
features.
featureless, then, is it?
I know their faces. I don't know why.
Panel 5.
One?
Back to the present. Kenthrill's body collapses to his knees. His hand clutches the center of his chest. Drenna rushes toward him, panic on her face. Behind her, more of the wall has broken away. More murals, more symbols of what?
Kenthril, talk to me. What do you see? What did you see?
Wait, why would she say that?
She didn't see it, I guess.
Panel 5.
Did she know he was having a vision? Was he like, hold on, I'm having an Eldritch vision? And then, like, the whole music happened.
Kenthrill is hunched over the stone floor, one hand on his chest, the other steadying himself. His face is pale. Drenna kneels beside him, hand on his shoulder, uncertain whether to touch or run. That sounds like my ex-girlfriend.
We got a line.
Oh, and we got Joseph.
We weren't breathing.
Coming to save us.
Breathing. Excuse me.
I'm here. Hello.
Yo, Draco showed up. You are here for the very first time Draco has been on stream.
Oh my God. Hello, Draco.
You weren't breathing. Hey, saying the line again.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Kenthrill's hand opens his tunic to reveal bare skin. Bow chicka wow wow. Just below his collarbone, something new, a faint spiral scar. Not glowing, but raw and recent. The pattern is identical to the central glyph.
I don't know. Why are they all not glowing? I don't know.
Things normally don't glow. I don't know why you need to mention
it. It marked me.
Yeah, up until the discovery of radium, things generally in human life didn't glow.
Oh my goodness.
Panel 3.
That's going to be the twist this fantasy world. Everything's made out of uranium.
I'm totally cool with that. I would like to see this version of Dark Sun. I like Dark Sun. This is no Dark Sun.
Panel 3. A full wall mural, weathered but haunting. The 5 kingdoms show it again, now shattered. Dark vines wrap their towers. In the center, a massive figure looms, the Soul Eater. It's carved into the stone as a human-like form cloaked in rags. A spiral where its face should be, and antler-like bone protrusions curling from its back.
There was a name buried beneath the screaming.
Panel 4.
That's a really good line.
Yeah, that's
actually a really good line. Yeah. Hey, you also
Panel
have
4. Close-up of the Soul Eater's carved spiral face. Yeah. Deep shadows sinking into etched grooves. Dust has settled into the spiral like dried blood. A crack splits the stone right across the head, as if the ruin itself tried to forget.
But I remember the spiral.
Panel 5. Drenna helps Kenthrill to his feet. They both look at the mural in silence. Behind them, the wind moves through the ruin for the first time. Loose dust lifts across the glyph-covered floor, coiling into a faint spiral pattern once again.
Kenthrill, what did you just wake up? What did we just wake up?
Page 6 and a bunch of stuff I'm not going to read. Panel 1.
Keep going.
I'm not going to read what he's trying to tell us. I'm going to read what he is telling us. So,
there it is.
Panel 1. Kenthrill and Drema emerge from the crumbled stone archway, stepping out into the jungle clearing. The sky above it is drimming deep blues and muddy orange. Vines hang low and insects hum faintly. Kenthrill shields his eyes briefly from the change in light.
Feels like we were down there longer than we were. I don't know how we know that.
And I don't know how we're going to hear the insects hum faintly.
Well, that's
Panel
we're not. But also, your reader doesn't know how long they were there because you literally kick us into the action with this happens.
Panel 2. Drenna walks a few paces ahead, glancing up at the canopy. Her expression is cautious. The torch she holds barely illuminates the ferns around them. Something's shifted, not just in the ruin, but in the forest itself.
The birds haven't come back.
Dun, dun, dun.
Panel 3. Kenthrill kneels by the ground, examining a trail of disturbed foliage, broken twigs, scuffed moss. A fresh track, humanoid, but heavier, like armor dragged with it. His jaw tightens.
Someone's been here, or still is.
Panel 4. High angle shot from the tree canopy above. Partially obscured by leaves, we see a bone-helmed figure watching them. It crouches motionless on the high branch, lean, silent, and masked by shadow. Its face is unseen, but it holds a blade of jagged stone across its lap. No dialogue, no sound effects, just presence. That just describe that. You don't have to tell us what's not there. Back the next panel 6, back to ground level. Kenthrill and Drenna mount their horses. Drenna glances back at the ruins with unease. Kenthrill's eyes scan the tree line. His bow now unslung across his shoulder.
And no pirates.
We'll sleep with the blades drawn.
Page 7. Panel 1. Just Kenthrill and Drenna ride side by side on a narrow trail, ducking beneath low branches. The jungle is dense. The horse's hooves muffled by wet leaves and moss. The path is barely visible in the failing light.
Chuff, chuff. Hoof beats on soft ground. Also, you should probably mention this panel doesn't have Indiana Jones in it.
Yeah.
I can do this for every panel. I might.
It feels wrong writing in silence like this.
But there's a sound effect.
There is a sound effect.
There's also a panel 2 that I can't read because I need to scroll in.
Well.
Scrolling. Keep this page scrolling. Panel 2. Drenna turns slightly in her saddle, scanning the underbrush behind them. I'd like to scan her underbrush. Her face is tight, brows furrowed, one hand drifting toward the hilt of her short sword.
And what? There's no hobbitses?
You gotta
you don't hear birds or frogs or anything.
I hear somebody's squeaky chair. Panel 3. Kenthrill, get some WD-40, dude.
No, it doesn't work.
Kenthrill
it
gestures.
Doesn't work, or you're not bothering.
No, I mean it won't work. Yeah.
Kenthrill gestures for her to slow down. His eyes scan the trees ahead. His bow is unstrapped now, laid across his lap. His posture is tense, not afraid, but focused like a hunter walking into a trap. Wait, I thought they try to avoid traps.
They're here.
I mean, most people try to avoid traps. This guy's a fucking idiot.
They're just not making noise.
Panel 4, cut to the section of trees just ahead, motionless. But in the crook of the two large roots, a faint indentation in the mud. A boot print, wide and deep, still moist. You know it is. Next to it, a broken twig hangs, snapped at eye level. No dialogue, just implication.
All right.
And no goblins.
Panel 5, sound effects, all bottom corner. Wait. Oh, from a distance behind them, framed by the underbrush, a dark silhouette crouched low and half blended into the terrain. Its eye sockets are hollow, its bone helm jagged and unnatural. The panel composition makes it hard to tell if it's alive or carved from the wood itself. Then why don't you just describe what you want it to look like?
Well, that would be really easy.
Panel 1, Drenda's horse rears violently, eyes wide. Her hand grips the reins, trying to control it, as a large shape crashes out of the ferns beside her, too fast to clearly see.
Snap crash.
Kinthril!
Panel 2, Kenthril leaps from his saddle, rolling into a crouch, as an undead figure lunges from the tree above, its jagged stone blade aimed for his spine.
Ouch.
Kenthril's face is all instinct, drawn, focused.
Thump. Wait, is it an undead jaguar? Those guys hang out in trees, right?
Panel 3, the undead scout lands in a crouch where Kethril stood, blade buried into the dirt. It raised its head, a skull mask fused with bark, hollow eyes staring. It doesn't snarl. It doesn't breathe. No dialogue, no sound, just presence. Panel
Wouldn't
4.
every page not have sound though? Just saying.
We have mentioned that before. Panel
Yeah,
4.
there's a couple that don't have sound, and then there's a couple that have like the sound effects and stuff like that. So I was trying
you don't have to write something that's not there.
Right.
Yeah.
Copy.
I'm still working on the format, and John did send me a couple of his, and and I've seen a couple, and it's just I'm trying to get the flow of actually doing like an actual like comic book format for it. I'm so used to it just doing like the regular script that it kind of just flows in there, and then I
can
write a comic script.
So writing a screenplay is a lot easier to focus on the action. The best way I can describe when you're trying to go from screenplay to what you're trying to do is you're trying to take your paragraphs in screenplay format and cram them into a comic panel. You can't do that. Visualize the scene in your head. Remember that a film is 24 frames a second. You need to pick one frame out of that scene, and that's your panel.
Okay.
So visualize the scene in your head, pick one frame, and then you rewrite a brand new paragraph describing that one panel. You're not describing a scene. You're describing one panel of that scene.
Okay.
Panel 4, Drenna dismounts as the second scout bursts from behind a tree. She throws a burst of powder. See, right here, we've got two actions. She can't dismount and throw the burst. She can do both at the same time, but that's not what you wrote. Here you wrote, Drenna dismounts as a second scout bursts from behind a tree. She throws a burst powder.
That's
from
also
a pouch.
Yeah.
A blinding cloud of ash.
Much, so it's pretty much really like seeing it in your head, because it's not a film. It's just a regular.
It's one frame. So for example, for this panel, you can do. Well, we can do two actions here because we've got two characters doing something. So Drenna dismounts, dodging the second scout, lunging at her from the tree, and she dismounts, throwing a burst of a powder bomb at a second scout who is lunging from the tree at her. Boom. There you go. She is dismounting and throwing at the same time. The scout is lunging at her with its blade, ready to go. So there's your one panel. That's the way you write it, not the way you did it, because the way you did it, there's too much going on. And if your artist doesn't have the patience or doesn't have the skill, you're not necessarily going to get exactly what you want, or they're just going to start making shit up.
When Robert came back,
hi.
Welcome,
Christmas.
All right,
Honestly,
panel 5.
We've never had this many people on before. It's interesting. Yeah.
I honestly got to say
not
that
since your writers' contests.
Yeah.
I honestly got to say that it's better coming on and actually receiving the feedback instead of just like kind of watching it and not saying anything.
Yeah, because you can interact with us and ask questions, and that's really the best way to try to polish up some of this stuff. And for you, the main thing you need to focus on right now is just formatting issues. So once you figure out your formatting and your scripts flow a lot better, I think the rest of the story will be a lot easier to advance. But anyway, let's get on with this. Panel 5. Kenthiro swings with his bow and fires point blank into the first scout's throat. How can he swing with his bow and fire at the same time? They're two different motions. The shaft punches through brittle armor bone and rot splinter, but the creature doesn't fall. It reaches forward silently.
They don't care if they die.
Page 9.
All right, so do we want to stop here? Because this was like...
Yes, we've easily read 10 real pages.
Yeah. All right. So, well, thanks for coming on, and thanks for rewriting stuff. I think those are both habits that I appreciate. And hooray. So this fantasy comic book, we got a couple of characters and a lot of undead people, and the undead people seem to be menacing them, and they seem to find some kind of curse that's related to spirals and the glyphs, and what's it mean? It's kind of a mystery, but it's introducing a conflict, some characters, and a setting, and in that regard, it's a good job. What do you think, Dan?
Better.
I think this is a substantial improvement. I did not want to kill myself.
Danny, your name is not Diane.
Oh, I
said of your writings that you have written, Drago. Thank you for coming on. First off, for coming on, thank you for taking the effort to do so, and we highly appreciate it. It also shows us that you're a little more serious about improving your work by coming on and actually interacting rather than just like typing up everything. Anyway, but from your work so far, this is one of the most coherent that you have written. And you have things happening. The characters, while not distinct, are there. And I understand that they are going into a conflict. I'm curious about the spirals, because that did pique my interest. Wondering what these spirals mean. And not sure if you're doing, I assume it's like a fantasy mystery. Let's see. I do have a something about the action. Oh, that's in criticism. Never mind. Keep going.
Yeah. All right, Danny, go ahead. You wanted to say this?
I agree with Diane. This was one of the least incoherent things you've given us. Your characters, while not memorable, at least seem to have character to a degree. You didn't bore us with exposition. You got them involved in some action that had something going on, and you used the same theme and symbol regularly throughout. The spiral is interesting. You use it consistently, so it's not like a big fat surprise. This is setting something up. And it is worth acknowledging that.
Okay.
John.
I thought the rewrite was very good. I thought what you cut out from the vision sequence, I thought was good. Like a lot of that stuff that was just extraneous and we didn't need it, at least not at this stage. So I thought tightening that up was a good. And yeah, like I think you got us to the real conflict and the real action, which is the undead coming after them. Like that's what we paid for to get here. So getting us to that sooner, I think, is also a lot better than just visions and exposition. So I think you did better with the visions and exposition by shortening it, and getting us to that conflict sooner. I think was also good. So
yeah, because I think the vision section, I think it was about 2.5 pages the first time around, which was like
no, it was most of the 10 pages that we read.
It was like 7 pages.
So it was extremely long. So that's one thing that I kind of took the feedback on, and I shortened it. And then I know you guys discussed the characterization of the individual characters, so I try to go in that direction as well with it.
Well, one of the problems, and I don't want to cut off anybody else at the time, but yes, the characters are very similar, and one of the problems that you have there is that they're both the same class. I don't know why they both have to be Rangers. Make one a different class, make one a different race. I mean, this is your D&D script, so you've got places to go and things to play with. So play with them. Don't make everybody the same, and you'll find making them different a little bit easier, especially as a beginner writing.
Larry.
Okay.
Are we on positive still?
No, yeah, we're still on positive.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Come on,
Sorry.
Larry. I'm sure you can pull something out of your brain.
No, I was just wondering. Sorry, I was kind of dazing off. Anyway, no, the characters are, interesting. The descriptors are interesting. So there's definitely get some good world building there. So yeah.
Joseph and Robert, I think, weren't here for most of the pages. I think.
Correct. I heard the last page and a half, maybe. That's it.
All right. So
I got in about halfway.
Do you have anything to
Did
say?
you have anything to say there, Joseph?
Improvement from the last version of this,
There we
dropping
go.
us right off into the action.
Yeah. All right. Constructives. Yeah, as we were kind of going over reading it, stop describing the things that aren't there.
Okay.
It's just try to have a sense of the scene and what you want to present, and just write down what it is we see and what it is we say, or what it is they're saying, and like the emotions that are being demonstrated by the actors or illustrations, and leave it at that. Yeah, that'd be my main. Diane, you got?
I have one with the I'm gonna add on to John's point about you're putting too many actions into one frame or one panel, and that's not something that you can do unless you're doing like them
speed lines
and all that stuff. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out. One of the things that I'm going to say is that why is he firing his bow point blank? You can literally use your bow as a weapon, and just like the bow itself, or just take an arrow and just literally just jab it into their throat. Yeah. So, there's that. I think of. It's really weird that in when people do D&D, they're like right next to the enemy and they still fire a bow. I'm just like, wouldn't it be just easier if you just took your bow, like your arrow,
and they have a bonus to their roll if they use dexterity to hit?
Exactly. Oh, yeah. There's massive bonuses to the bow.
Yeah, it's a technical thing. It's terrible storytelling, as you just suggested.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. But
yeah, like Lord of the Rings, when Legolas pulls out his arrow, stabs the one orc, then draws his bow and fires it.
Yeah, that's great
do
stuff.
Shit like that. That's cool.
That's cool. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to go for. It's like even doing like multiple shots, because that is a technique that as someone who has done archery myself and enjoys it very much, you can actually have multiple arrows in your hand and just basically like fire not multiple shots, but at least fire quick shots.
Rapid fire.
And that's, although you can do two, it's not very accurate, but it's good. You can do it.
Hollywood does 2 arrows fired from a bow all the time. I think you could get away with that in a
in a D&D
comic
kind
too.
of way. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's a pretty common thing.
I mean, it's
silly, but whatever.
Yeah.
So hey, Robin Hood can do it.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. No, I kind of see the direction you guys definitely want to go with it. Like right now, I'm thinking of probably making the bow have like daggers or blades or something at the end of them where he could like stab at the neck.
It's a stick. Just hit people with a stick.
Or a sword, or a dagger.
Or you can just use the bow and use it as almost like
a
it's
club.
like a club.
Yeah, like a club.
Yeah.
John.
Build brass knuckles into the grip.
There you go.
You could.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, so yeah, so definitely the descriptions. God, they need work.
Okay.
That's a lot of going to be the formatting thing. Stop telling us what we don't see. Tell us what we do see. Don't tell us what you're trying to show us. Just show us what it is you want. Like those page descriptions are not necessary. And yeah, I think that's the main thing. I'm sure Danny will have way more to say, but I mean, really, I think if you can just polish up your formatting, I think the reads will go a lot easier for you. You know, and just remember that you're only getting one frame, not 24 frames a second. So that it's you'll find that out when you actually start. I think we mentioned this. I don't know if it was, maybe it was yours or if it was Rutgers. Probably yours though, given your description. I don't know if you can draw. I can't draw to save my life. But just try try sketching it. Try to try to sketch what your page is supposed to look like. And I think if you even if you do it as stick figures, if you can at least try to start thinking in when you recognize the limitations of the medium, you'll be able to write for the medium better. And right now, I don't feel like you quite recognize the limitations of the medium. So you're trying to write a Hogwarts comic book where all of the panels are animated, and that's just not going to happen. So try to just try to sketch it out. And I think if you start doing that, even with little stick figures, I think you'll start to realize how you can frame things better to make them all kind of fit. And I think that will help you with your script layouts and all of that when you're doing that.
Okay, yeah, sounds good.
Okay, well, yes, as everyone said, your format is counterproductive and makes you a worse writer. So use a better one. It is very important also to not. Your illustrator is not ChatGPT. Treating your illustrator like ChatGPT is super uncool for a whole bunch of reasons, but mostly because you end up, for whatever reason, writing a lot of stuff into your description that is just undrawable. Don't do that. None of your characters should have more than one verb per panel, especially at your stage of creation, which has not created anything. This will make your life easier. And just, remove all the totally useless crap from all of your descriptions.
Larry.
Okay.
Yeah, I got nothing to add. Okay. I think everybody got everything. So,
Joseph. Probably.
Hello. I would like to give specific examples as to what Danny's talking about.
All right. Go ahead.
In terms of the formatting, there is no reason why you should have a goal or anything like that listed on there, because the goal should just be obvious from reading it, right?
Right.
One of the best pieces of advice that I ever got was, all we're doing as writing comic books is it's a set of instructions telling the artist what to draw. That's all you have to focus on is the artwork.
So it's pretty much just letting the artist kind of figure. So is it more of the artist figures it out, or kind of give them a little bit of direction, but not too much? Where it
give them enough direction to be able to go from there, because your artist is also a collaborator.
I want to say the main thing that an artist doesn't want to do is they don't want to put a lot of time into drawing something and then present it to you and have you go, "That's not what I told you to draw." That's mainly what the artist wants to avoid. So your instructions need to be real specific, so that when you sit down with them and you compare the script to the illustrated page, you both agree that what's on the page represents what you were asking for.
Okay.
And there's 2 books that I highly recommend that you read if you really want to take comic writing seriously. The first one is Understanding Comics by Scott McCloud. And then the other one is The Art of Comics Book Writing by Mark Neese. I think I'm pronouncing that right.
Oh, that's a good one.
We're sharing the Discord. Hit me up. I will send you links to those. All right.
There we go.
Okay. Yeah. No, sounds good. I'll get them.
Also, another one thing that I would highly recommend too, if you want to learn how to use comics as a medium, is Berserk by Kentaro Miura. That is the greatest comic of all time.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
All right.
I won't argue.
We have page 1 of the 7th.
Oh yes, PSA. We're punching this up.
Okay.
7th draft of what?
Of Coffee? No, not Coffee House of Doom.
Greenhouse of Doom.
The weed vampire script.
Oh, yay! That's it.
So Diane, we're here for a punch up. So you gotta tell us better jokes to put in.
Do you want to read the narration?
Sure.
Can you do that? Okay.
Page 1, panel 1, splash page of our main cast. To the left is Martin, the dorkiest dork that ever dorked. A young kid, and he wears black framed glasses taped together at the rim, complete with a white button-up dress shirt and pocket protector. To his right stands the creepy crew, a gang of goth misfits, ripped straight out of Hot Topic ad. Well, not anymore, but you know. Standing proud in the corner is Carmela. She's a tall, slender black woman rocking a purple leather corset tucked into her tight black jeans. Her hair is done up in an Andango style. 2 poofy balls on top of long flowing black hair going down past her ass. To Carmela's right stands Fang, tallest of the bunch. Fang has a beat up military jacket, probably shoplifted from the local Goodwill. Their knees stick out from the holes. Stop moving. And he's just bobbing his head in their blue jeans. But if what they lack in fashion, they make up in body art. Above their right eyebrow is a sick-ass scythe tattoo with a wooden stem going down past their eye. Over the left is Melissa, short and a bit of a wide load. She has winged eyeliner and green mohawk, complete with trip pants from the 2000s. Behind them looms Creepy Manor, a derelict Gothic mansion painted white with purple trim.
You're a late forecast. We just missed 420.
No need for name calling, Carmela. My name's Martin. You know I hate it when you call me that.
Not as much as we hate dorks, right, Fang?
Larry, B-Fang.
Larry disappeared into the ether.
Oh, never mind.
We have Draco.
I'll be Fang. Okay. Right, Melissa. Getting major narc vibes from this guy.
There we go.
Page 2, panel 1. Reveal a boardroom. Dun, dun, dun. Standing in front is a frumpy, bald man in a tan suit. That's on way too tight. Behind them are all the panels of the comic tacked to the wall.
Who's Pitchman?
Who wants to be Pitchman?
Draco. Be Pitchman. Did he leave too?
No, he's there.
He still seems to be here.
Okay.
He's
Although
muted. His voice, his mic keeps cracking or making noise or something.
Goth mommies are all the rage these days. Put a few of them in our PSA, and it's bound to go viral. The kids will love it.
Panel 2, reverse shot, revealing the group of white men, all bald, all old, all wearing identical suits that are of the same color as the walls. Each of their heads are shaped like eggs. In the very back is the boss, much older than the rest, but covered in shadow.
Back in the 90s, we would have a guy swing a few pans around in a kitchen and call it good. Costed $20 and got the point across. This shot alone is going to cost us thousands.
Panel 3, Pitchman sweats, trying to smile through the criticism.
The price for a drug-free America.
Panel 4, close up to the boss, the baldest, fattest white man that ever existed.
I hate him.
He sits Gindo style, fingers interlocked, elbows on the table, light reflecting off his circular glasses.
This is your only chance to impress us. Keep going, like your life depends on it.
Panel 5, Pitchman points at the panel tacked to the wall.
Right, of course. Remember the big spooky house from earlier? Well, after they break in.
Dun, dun, dun. Panel 3, panel 1. Oh, sorry, page 3, panel 1. Inside the spooky manor living room, the crew sit on a Gothic Victorian era couch. Thick cobwebs and dust cover every inch of the room. Long black candles burn on the table in front of them.
Did we have a Martin?
I thought Robert was Martin.
No, I'm Fang.
No, he's Fang. What's the Sigma? We could get in so much trouble if anyone finds us.
True. No one invited us in. That's against the rules. Right, Melissa?
Not funny.
John, be Carmel.
Are any good party starts with a little B&E. Besides, the real fun is about to begin.
Panel 2, Melissa holds up a baggie full of pot in one hand while making the devil horns gesture with the other. Her tongue is rainbow, starting with orange, then green, then blue, and then a normal pink.
Oh no, is that
weed, ganja, Dracula dust? Orlock one hitter is so strong you'll have a full-blown ego death from one puff. Literal devil lettuce because Satan is my plug.
Panel 3, close-up of Martin in a panic.
Drugs? I gotta get out of here. If we get caught, then they'll send us away forever. I'll never survive in prison.
Panel 4, POV shot of the creepy crew, all holding various drug paraphernalia. Carmela holds a glass drab rig. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Melissa holds a soda can with smoke coming out of it, but Fang is nowhere to be seen. The background darkened, and their eyes lit up, and it should look like the creepy crew is offering the reader drugs.
Don't chicken out now, dork ass. You want to be cool, don't you?
Panel 4, panel 1. Page 4, panel 1. Back at the boardroom, Pitchman stands back against the wall as a row of bald heads watches him, tacked to the wall. Behind him is an image of Martin hitting the dab. His wide eyes are rainbows, like the color wheel of a crashing Mac. Pac-Man smiles, sweat pouring down his face. One of the employees raises a hand to ask a question.
One quick question. Whose idea was it to put you in charge?
Panel 2, Pitchman frowns, trying to hide the pain in his eyes while the rest of the men laugh. Ha ha ha. The boss sits at the end of the table, unimpressed.
I volunteered. Believe it or not, this is my true calling. Just the other day.
Panel 3, Pitchman pulls out a baggie. Yeah. Inside is a rolled joint, and he waves it frantically at the executives around the room. Boss remains cloaked in the far shadows, eyes glowing.
I found this under my son's bed, and I know I'm not the only parent that has to deal with this epidemic. My only son, and he thinks it's fine to risk his life. So who put me up to this? Who cares? I'm the man who's up for the job.
Riveting speech, but where exactly are you going with this? How will this keep our most precious asset, the youth, off drugs?
Fear. That's how. Spook them straight. Once the kids see this, they'll be so scared they'll never try drugs a day in their life.
Panel 4, the boss sits in the corner of the panel covered in shadow. Pitchman sits still, sweating pouring down his head as he waits for the boss's approval.
Proceed.
Page 5, panel 1. Martin runs down an empty hallway. The purple paint matches the dank, disgusting carpet peeling off the walls. He grabs his stomach with his other arm, reached out towards the bathroom door.
Yes, sir. Remember Martin? Well, he's got a case of the tumbly wumblies. We'll follow him into the manor bathroom when... Oh, gosh, I'm going to die. The drugs are taking over my system, and I'm actually going to die.
Panel 2, inside the bathroom, Martin talks to himself in the mirror, trying desperately to calm himself.
What was all this for? To impress a bunch of people who'll never like me no matter what I do? This isn't me.
Panel 3, Fang sits on the toilet, pants around his ankles. They're so vexed and frustrated that his vampire fangs have popped out.
Hey, no one at the human school ever taught us. Don't you know how to knock?
Yeah.
Bloop.
Page from panel 4?
Yeah. Panel 4. Martin runs out the door in a panic. Fang screams from behind him, still sitting on the toilet.
At least close the door.
Guys, something's wrong. Either I'm high, out of my mind, or Fang's a vampire.
Panel 5. Carmela licks her teeth. Melissa's mohawk is straight up, is upright more than ever. Her eyes glowing red. Both have long fangs coming out of their mouth, and a black figure stands in front of Martin, most of it off panel.
A vampire?
No, really? These are so fake and only in movies. Except not.
Get away! Don't eat me! I haven't even pirated music yet.
Oh, dork ass. You're so wrong about us. We're not going to eat you.
Yeah, dork. We're going to smoke you.
Page 6, panel 1. Carmela's fang sinks into Martin's neck. Blood oozes out of the side of the fresh wound. Panel 2, punch in the bite wound, and Carmela inhales smoke coming out of Martin's neck.
Oh, I'm feeling it already. The fear adds an extra kick to it.
Panel 3, insert Carmela smoking out Martin's neck. Her eyes now the same color wheeled effect from page 3.
If only I never met these people.
Panel 4, insert Melissa. Her eyes have the color wheel as she feasts from Martin's wrist in ecstasy.
If only I stuck to my principles.
Panel 5, wide shot of the vampires feasting on Martin. Carmela has her fangs in Martin's neck. Melissa holds on Martin's right wrist with Fang on his left wrist, both inhaling smoke from fresh bite wounds. The inserts are attacked on top of this panel.
If only I'd never tried drugs.
Page 7, panel 1. Pitchman stands center stage as each suit looks on in anger.
That's it. My nephew's a real whiz on the computer. He can do the effects for free. Lickety split.
Panel 2, an employee stands up, his anger getting the best of him.
No way we're paying for all that, especially when it's the exact opposite that happens.
Excuse me?
Drinking someone who's high doesn't make us high, idiot. Weed taints the blood. It makes you undrinkable to the rest of us.
Panel 3, Pitchman stands with his back against the wall, looking at the crowd in fear. They are all off panel, their shadows elongated over him.
Good joke, guys. Very funny. Maybe we can move on to the approval process and get the budget figured out.
Panel 4. Everyone in the room is a vampire! Not like the vampires from the fake commercial, but real vampires! They have black eyes and little red dots for pupils, all of them rail thin with long fangs protruding from their mouth. In the back of the room is Boss in his real vampire form, which is just normal him, but with longer mustache and fangs.
Knowing what you know now, I cannot permit you to leave here alive.
Page 8, panel 1, close up. Pitchman tries to turn the door handle, but in a classic horror movie fashion, it's stuck.
Willikers, the door's jammed.
Panel 2, Pitchman turns dramatically to confront the crowd of vampires holding the joint out like it's a holy crucifix.
Wait, stay back. I know your weakness. One hit from this and my blood becomes tainted, undrinkable. Go back, so back away, foul beasts.
Panel 3, close up on the boss, threatening Pitchman flanked by his vampire underlings.
Yes, just one hit. But where's your lighter?
Dun, dun, dun. Whoa. Panel 4, Pitchman faces the reader screaming while the vampires line up behind him. His fate is ambiguous, but one thing is for sure. His PSA will never be made. The end.
The end. All right. Robert, everybody else here has seen these multiple times. You're the only person who I think this is the only version you've seen, right?
That's correct.
All right. Well, give us some positive things about the script.
I like the I actually like the panel descriptions. I have some issues with the art direction, but we can talk about that in the second part. I think that the panel descriptions are a lot stronger than the dialogue, and the dialogue needs to support the panel. Somebody had described it as the verb, and I think the panel is the verb, and I'd like to see the dialogue relate more to it. It almost like it's kind of a side story, but that's a little negative. But otherwise, I enjoyed the descriptions visually. I think it would be strong visually. As far as the story goes, I got very confused about jumping in and out of the pitch meeting, and then the story of the gang that was featured in the very first panel. I'm not quite sure how they fit in. I'm not sure if I didn't follow it right, or it just doesn't make sense. That's about it.
All right. Well, I followed it, but again, like I've seen prior versions, so I know that the action in the action that we're seeing in the house break-in with the rainbow vampires is the script that the pitchman is presenting, and I liked that we were kind of like abbreviating the story a bit more, because like one thing that used to be a panel is now just a panel backdrop to the pitch meeting, thereby saving some real estate. So I thought that was pretty cool. Good job. Bam. Yeah.
I like the new ending.
I think it's kind of the same ending.
It's kind of the same, but it doesn't have that shit. But
he doesn't exclaim
like that, because the shit was funny.
Yeah.
The shit is funny. This is a different type of funny. So I do like it. I think it's crisper. I thought that your last time that you submitted it, thought it was fine, absolutely fine. I still think it's very crisp. I'm very few changes this round, but I do like it. So other than maybe the ending, because I'm not sure if I like this ending.
We'll do that on constructive.
No, I'm not sure if I like it.
It's
still good though.
Okay.
I kind of like the ending. I like that the person who is so important in telling the story is now at risk. I like that.
John?
Well, yeah, Robert, what Diane's referring to is the changes from the last version of the ending.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so Yeah, so you fixed two of the key things which I remembered really jumped out at me, which was Fang appearing as a vampire, because I was kind of confused because that came out of nowhere. And then you made the panel of of Martin doing the drugs much more clear, because that was the other one that I remember. Those were the two things that I had commented on last week. So this time, yeah, it was much clearer that you were, especially like conjoining those two panels in the boardroom and in the original comic, which, you know, given your page and panel counts limitation, you know, it was a good use of the real estate. So I think that works given the limitations that you are under for the anthology.
Is Draco here?
Yeah, I don't know. Is Draco here?
See, the other thing about showing up, Draco, is that you get to actually give your feedback on other people's work.
You do. Or not. All right, Danny, go ahead.
All right. Well, yes. I think the tighter panels largely work. I do like that it gives us a lot more room for art. Like I do think putting the Martin smoking like in the background of the panel like is really efficient, and it leads into that to the gag on page 2 anyways. So that means we're reinforcing the dual structure, and that was really good. I think the pages, obviously, I mean, in disclosure, I did do a fair bit of the suggesting for what should be cut here. But I do think you have more room for detail in the art with bigger panels, and that pays off when you do have to get busy, like with Martin getting eaten. Like it didn't feel busy, even though it was like a denser page. And then, yeah, the action at the end did sort of feel like it flowed a lot better and gave like a really good sort of two-sided conversation for like the last 2 pages, which is pretty good for a conclusion, especially with the page flip in it.
Mm-hmm.
I have one quick question then. Sorry to interrupt, Jenny. I just want to make sure, and I guess this is for everyone here too, if it's clear what I'm going for on that page where Martin's getting eaten. So the way that I envision that page is we have our big piece of key art, which is all of the vampires surrounding Martin chomping on him. And then in very little boxes is the close-ups of the vampires eating him. I want to ask if that's clear. And then I also want to ask if that even works as a page, in your opinion.
It was a little confusing because the dialogue didn't quite match. Like, we had Martin talking, but he wasn't in the panels because you were doing these close-ups. But then I'm not an artist, so, and having read a lot of your previous stuff, and I know that you and Danny have been doing this for a long time, I'm trusting that your artist will figure it out and you'll get something. So while, yes, script-wise, it was a little confusing, I don't feel like you guys can't handle it. If Draco tried doing something like that, then I would comment differently and be like, I don't think your artist, who we don't even know who that is going to be able to do it. But you guys, I think you guys are going to, you guys have the chops to find somebody that could potentially pull it off. So I didn't find it as confusing as much, because I figured you'll either do like a dialogue out of panel type thing or something.
As an artist, I can say that it was pretty clear to me that what you were after was one with all the characters together in one large panel, and then basically close-ups of like what was going on with each individual character feasting on Martin. So I could see that very clearly in the way that you wrote it. I'm not sure if any other artist is the same will do that, but I thought it was very clear. Also, I want to comment that I like your transitions between the office and the house. I think it's much more smoother this time. and I can see that almost like a film in my head. So if I drew that, it comes off. It doesn't, because I remember like when we first read this, I remember being very confused when it just went into the office scene. It was like a really, really staggering cut. And now that we are getting to these more smoother transitions, that what is on the panel is this, and then also having the drugs being kind of like put under you. Basically, you see them putting something like you're the reader, and then it transitions into the office, and that's really nice. That's very smooth. I enjoyed that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I will say a bunch of my notes were trying to keep it to one location per page, and I think that really paid off. What I will say generally about the art description there is one good way to format that in a comic script is to say, like, panel 1, this panel dominates the page. All the other panels will be inset onto it as close-ups. Just say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And then panel 2.
I was wondering, like, which one was
Preston does that all the time.
Yeah.
And then he'll even say, like, inset top left, inset top right, inset over the detail. So like it's just like little bits of like microscope.
Yeah, because that was clicking with me when we were reading it out loud, and I didn't mention until the very end. Like, oh, by the way, this is
actually it wasn't super clear to me if that was the whole page or just part of it initially. Like I figured the eating would be like a lot of overlap, but I wasn't. It wasn't. They didn't really sell as the whole page to me. It's like it was like the one panel of him being attacked, and then the bottom, let's say 2/3, would have been all this inset work. Mm-hmm. So, knowing that, I mean, there's ways to format your script, but when generally you start with the background, like the main work, and then you put the insets on top of it, and therefore below it in the script.
I'm gonna ask this as yes or no, and then since you're the editor, I'm going to do whatever it is that you say. So, do you think it's worth rewriting that page to lay it out like that? Okay.
No, you have dialogue to work on.
Okay.
It's interesting that going up from what Danny said, I did understand the last panel, and I thought it was strong. Somebody said it, I think it was Danny, about each one's a verb, and it just was stronger, and it seemed to get a lot stronger towards the end. I'm not a comic guy. I've read my share. But not at the level you guys are doing this, but it was very clear to me. I'm going to say that the last panel, the last page and panel, were the strongest of the whole thing for me, and that's on a first impression of it. A couple of nitpicky points. You had in your descriptions where suits would match the walls and the carpet would match the walls. If you say that to an artist, somebody's already said you have strong artists and a good relationship with them, they would probably just understand how to fix that. But I've done a fair amount of art direction. That would be a very bad art direction to somebody, because they would hear it almost literally, and they would try to make it very close. And I think as an overall read, you could have some trouble with it, since you're going with color and a lot of shadow. I would say the colors have to be handled very specifically against those shadows, and having two colors that are extremely close on important parts, like the feel of the hallway and what the boss looks like are, beige. I think the art direction part of that, and telling them what to do, either needs to be thoroughly discussed with them, or if it's strictly a written instruction, then I would clarify that a little bit more. That's it. Very nitpicky.
I agree with that. Because trying to get the minions blended into the background, then you just end up you don't see them.
Yeah.
They don't become ominous anymore. They just kind of blend into the background. So.
All right. One of the advantages of showing up is we certainly will read whatever script you have.
What's this?
And the script. This is Robert's.
Inside an ad agency. Excellent. So we're right on theme.
Yeah, I found that interesting. I wasn't going to say anything, but it's a pitch.
It's a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, it works.
So, Ryan, do you remember Robert's? Were you here? We went over the first 10 pages.
There were two.
Robert, why don't you give her some backstory?
Will do. The the opening scene takes place as a flashback, and it's this woman who runs an orphanage who has enslaved the orphans to mine for diamonds that she believes are there underneath where the old coal mines used to be. It turns out they're slaves, and the company that she hired to help know where the diamonds were is demanding their payment. She's saying, we haven't found diamonds, and she's pissed at him, and that guy ends up getting killed in a rather gruesome way. It was interesting that Scythe was brought up because that is how he died. Then we go to present day, and a utility worker goes to this same area because that area had since been fallen into disrepair and been destroyed because the coal mines had gas voids and things exploded, sinkholes. And so this company has come in, a development company, which is the scene we're going to be in now, has decided they want to rebuild it. They got it really cheap.
Check you later, Draco.
Yeah.
Okay. And so they're going to rebuild this area. She goes in to check the electricity to make sure everything is hooked up properly, goes into the tunnels and encounters a mysterious being of some sort with glowing eyes. And mysteriously she dies. The sheriff finds her, and they don't know exactly what happened to her, but it's a very eerie kind of death. Then we change and we go to this next scene, which is also present day at an ad agency. Imagine Manhattan, in Madison Avenue.
Okay, all right, and this is the continuation of that.
Yes, this would be the next scene.
Okay.
Yay.
Okay, so it's a film script. It's not a comic. We should also say that.
That's fine.
That's fine.
We can figure that out. We've written
I
and
want to
worked on
read
our
two
fair
good
share.
things in one day, so I'm going to jump in and read the narration if that's all
Go
right.
ahead. All right.
Okay, the narration. You had asked this earlier, Danny, about the difference between when it's italics and when it's not. When it's not italics, it's kind of a general description of the scene. When it is italics, it's meant to be an action or scene setting thing. So they're slightly different. But
Fair enough. I mean, I work in production, so someone will have fixed that by the time we're filming things.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is not a shooting script.
Interior ad agency screening room. Executives in silhouette are watching the large monitor on the wall. You could just say they watch the monitor on the wall.
You could.
Showing is a 30-second TV spot promoting housing development in Blankville, West Virginia, which is a great name. On screen,
Blackville.
It's Blackville.
Oh, Blackville. Less great.
You could also just say executives in silhouette watch a large monitor screen showing a 30-second TV spot.
You could.
Screenplays do weird things sometimes, but I agree. On screen, we see glamorous visuals of AI-generated model homes. So, like incoherent model homes.
Yes, with several happy families that probably have faces.
salty. and 7
fingers on one hand.
The cabin in the woods is also going to be half McMansion.
Anyway. All right, I'll be the
and several happy families admiring the rooms.
Yeah, I guess I'll be ad narrator 1. What is a home? It's a place that shows exactly who you are. Some people search worlds to find their dream. Others build their own. Don't build a house. Build a dream.
Go to createyourdreamhouse.com to get the perfect lot for your dream. Blackville's new development lots are up for bid. Be first, buy now, build a home, live your dream.
The ad ends and the monitor goes white. The executive praised the work with light applause.
Thanks to everyone on the creative team. If you would excuse us for a moment.
The ad team leaves the screening room. Still in silhouette against the monitor, developer 2 turns to his team.
Do you want to speak developer 2?
Robert, you want to be 2?
I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do developer 2. We need to start airing next week. They could use the same script for the radio as well. It's included in the package, so I'm told. The press release has to hit the wire services at the same time. The goal is to own the message. The stuff about the dark history of Blackville should never come up.
We tried to change the name of the town. The government agency said it would spell the end of the Superfund cleanup money. So we opted out. The fund compliance is what underpins the building permits.
The sales agents have to convince the townspeople to be positive about this opportunity to rebuild Blackville into the 21st century. Make sure they understand. If dark history comes up, change the subject. They benefit from this as much as we do. Well, not quite as much.
Who are they talking to?
They're
each other.
Apparently each other.
Yeah.
Right. They're expositing information to each other that they both already know.
Yeah, I mean, I know that, but now's not the time for Chris.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, good catch.
Yeah. But
you owe yourself a pat on the back, John.
All right, there you go.
The executives chuckle.
Go down.
The marketing team targeted first-time buyers who recently came into money. One in particular has a family connected to Blackville.
The Monitor shows us an interview with Skip Bennett, 27, good-looking and animated gestures. The voices run under the executives is with an apostrophe, they should have an apostrophe, conversation.
With you.
This guy
Checks the notes he is holding.
Skip Bennett just inherited $2.6 million from the Astor Family Trust. Our marketing team granted him special access to bid on the premium lots.
What if he doesn't win the bid?
We've taken care of that. He'll win.
The executives chuckle. The video interview with Skip continues to play.
Do we have a Skip?
I had no idea I was related to the Astor family. It came as a complete surprise. I know nothing of their history. Blackville Township sounds like a great place. I wish I win the bids for a good piece of property, a big lot with views.
Oh God, he's going to be our hero. Freeze frame of Skip smiling, fade out, fade in, run opening credits over the bidding scene. I see. Okay, yeah. Exterior, small New York apartment, present day. Skip Bennett is sitting in his small apartment. You mean Skip Bennett sits in his small apartment?
Yes.
Okay.
Poking his fork.
Sorry, yes. He pokes his fork into a cookie pot pie, still steaming from the microwave, dressed in New York Knicks t-shirt. Oh, he's a loser. He pops into the can.
Wow. That's so
a loud belch is emitted. I got you with that one, John. I saw you were about to drink. I was so close. Is emitted as he leans back into his gamer's chair. A desk lamp illuminates his keyboard. Wearing gamer headphones, Skip's face is lit by the monitor. He is logged into a land auction website.
Welcome to createyourdreamhouse.com.
Auctions, new developments.
Please state your complete name.
Skip Bennett, 2 N's and 2 T's. I flip houses, turn profits, and have fun doing it.
Thank you, Mr. Tease.
Damn chatbots take the style right out of it.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
Lots. Auctions.
Lot auctions. Is that right?
Skip selects the new development project located in Blackville Township. He enlarges the monitor image and checks the online county certification documents, confirming the land is fully permitted for building. I mean, this guy's not coming across as some doofus who just won an auction.
He is not.
Or whatever, just got some money. The computer screen displays the timer on the auction. Skip enters a bid, but a message comes up indicating bid too low. Skip enters a higher amount. The timer ticks down. A display pops up. You have been outbid.
And now for the W.
He enters a number, but does not hit enter. The timer ticks down, and Skip calls out the last couple seconds.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Skip punches the enter key. The screen displays you have the winning bid.
Yes, that is why I am the GOAT, the king of the low bids, the master of the winning bids.
Skip exits to the kitchen, fist pumping.
Fucking snipers. hate you guys.
Oh
I
yeah.
do love bringing in that eBay bullshit to the
Yes.
21st century.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's steak and I don't know how to pronounce that, but I guess
Bougie.
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 And it's with a
okay.
G, not a J.
Okay.
Oh, it's in everything. It's every spelling style possible.
Well, it should be with a G because it's short
Will
for
do.
bourgeoisie.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It's steak and bougie, champagne tonight, Clico, Clico, Clico.
You spell it Clico at least 2 different ways in that.
There you go.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Exterior entrance to Blackville Township. Ooh, the town only has one entrance. I love this for a horror movie. Entering Blackville Township from the main highway, we pass the greeting sign, Blackville Township. Founded 1893, population 2,978.
For now.
Not for long.
Right, not for long.
Someone placed a yard sign in front of it. We are growing. Model homes just ahead. Raise your family here. There are old houses in various states of disrepair. Couches on large porches. A few cars on blocks in front yards. At one house, a dog is chained to the front stairs and barks viciously. Turning onto Main Street. Sorry?
The dog was barking at the stairs. I was a little confused.
Yes. Turning on that's what the script says, dude. Don't ask me. Turning onto Main Street, there are promotional flags placed in front of several old storefronts advertising new development. Lots for sale. CreateYourDreamHouse.com. Cut to exterior Main Road to Blackville Day. In his lifted 4-wheeler pickup with Airstream trailer in tow. This guy lives in New York? And he has a trailer? Pick a lane. Skip barrels
maybe he
down.
just bought it with all the money that he won.
Yeah, he's traveling the nation.
Sure, maybe.
Look,
Skip
you're Canadian.
down
You don't
Black Hills
understand.
Main Street.
That's a very Texas thing.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
if you were Texan, you would understand.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing Skip is in New York City and therefore not being a Texan.
I know. He's traveling.
I also don't know if he'd have a
He's
lifted
definitely not a
4-wheeler.
Yeah.
Because, like, how do you drive or park that in New York?
I know, but well, I mean, if it's Manhattan, that's a nightmare. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a congestion fee for a reason.
Yeah.
Exterior front of store day. Skip spies a small store down the road and pulls in front, blocking all of the parking spots. He gets out and walks around the truck and the trailer. Looking around, he takes in the storefront. An old man, sipping from a brown bag, sits on a chair, staring at Skip as he enters the store. A small child, expressionless, wearing dirty overalls, sits on the bottom stair, quietly singing to a rag doll. Jesus Christ, what year is this?
Modern day, present day.
Joseph, you're back. Be the child.
Lizzie Borden had an axe, gave her mother 40 whacks. When she saw what she had done, she gave her father 41.
Pretty good.
Skip walks past the young girl who does not move to give him room on the narrow stair steps. The wooden board. Why is the action line continued?
I don't know.
The wooden
final
board
draft.
With each step. He walks gingerly as though they may break with each step.
Yeah.
Right.
Interior convenience store day. Oh, he's at a convenience store.
Yes.
Okay. A bell on the door rings. The elderly cashier one looks up.
You're blocking my spaces.
Only be a second. Just need some directions.
Skip points to a map in his hand.
Do you know where?
We know who you are, your family.
Right. I'm an Astor. My great-grandfather.
Hasn't your family done enough damage here?
I intend to rebuild, and without the drama.
You gonna buy something?
Staring at her, Skip just points to the spot on the map. Cashier gestures the direction. Skip exits the store and slams the screen door on the way out, knocking the bell to the ground. You go, Skip. That's some New York attitude we need in this town.
So your family did enough damage, and the first thing he does is break a bell.
I like that. You set it up and then you pay it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you're supposed to write themes.
Yeah, it's great. It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I like it.
Exterior.
I fear for his safety in a horror movie. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I am behind
like
villain protagonist in a horror movie.
Yeah,
I think it's fun. Exterior vacant lots day. Skip pulls up to the property. He exits the truck with the property documents. Flipping the papers to the county building certification, he compares the lot number to blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. They match.
Skip looks over the lot. A door is the single structure with a small religious shrine next to it. Backing the
door in the
airstream.
middle of a vacant lot?
I mean, hardly a vacant lot. There's a door and a shrine on it.
Okay.
He bought a door with a shrine on it. If he was really from New York, he'd bitch about it.
Yeah.
Backing the airstream into position next to the door, he bumps the shrine, knocking loose the statue of St. Nicholas. Oh, he's about to die. Okay. Skip unhitches the trailer and pulls down the steps to the side door. Just as he's about to enter, he hears muffled screams. Skip turns, and the sound seems to be coming from inside the old door. He approaches the basement door, but is startled by a loud yell from the street. An old lady, walking a small dog, calls after him.
Hey, you squatter! No parking on the lot! No trash! No dumping!
The miniature poodle is growling and bearing. Even the miniature poodle growls.
Yeah, it's so much easier. Yeah. I'm the owner. I own all these lots. Beautiful houses will be here before you know it.
Hortense stares at him. The dog continues to growl.
Families. Oh, that's your Skip. Okay.
Families, kids playing like the old days.
She picks up her dog and shuffles away, looking back at Skip until she disappears from sight. Why is this action line continued?
I don't know.
Skip scratches his head and shrugs off the incident.
Bunch of old weirdos.
Skip checks out the door of the lone structure on the property. It is a substantial door, heavily reinforced.
After all the demo, why is this still here? I will take a lot of work. It will take a lot of work to break this sucker down. Maybe there's still basement, future wine cellar, or ghosts.
Skip raises his arms and shakes his hands while imitating a theremin.
Wonder what mystery lie behind it.
I can't see it when he was doing that.
I was doing little theremin hands over here.
As he starts to examine the door to the basement, local kids gather at a distance and look on. With his index finger, Skip flicks the basement sign, handing from a single screw, making it spin in circles. He opens the side storage on the trailer and pulls out a 5-pound sledgehammer. Now eager to get inside the door, Skip raises the hammer and strikes the rusted latch. Nothing. He strikes again. The hammerhead shatters, spraying metal shrapnel. One piece pierces his pants leg. A blood spot appears and slowly grows larger.
Shit.
Now that's a well-earned shit. Skip raises the pant leg and pulls out the piece of metal. He gets the small first aid kit from the side storage compartment of the trailer. Squeezing some alcohol on the wound, he winces from the pain, finally placing an adhesive bandage on the cut. Continued. Skip selects the large pry bar and starts to work at the hinges of the door. A rock hits him on the shoulder, startling him. He looks up to see the kids running away.
Assholes. Some welcome wagon kind of fits this fucking town.
Skip has not made any progress on opening the basement door. As the sun sets, Skip stands on the top step to his trailer, surveying the land as the daylight fades and turns to night. Interior trailer night. Skip throws a small pillow against the door.
Shit day so far. Tomorrow we begin. First up, order propane tank. Second, check the survey stakes. Gotta make sure I have all the land I paid for.
He reaches for a half-full bottle of Shiva. Pours himself a 2-shot in a Dixie cup. Nice one.
There you go.
Grabs it in one swig.
I am Skip. We have bonded. This is my character.
Mumbling curses, He falls asleep. Interior trailer, midnight. Skip is jarred awake by violent rocking of the trailer.
Holy shit! Hey, who's out there?
He jumps up, stumbling through the blankets, and goes to the window to see what is happening outside. He can't see anything. There is no exterior light. That seems unlikely. Skip goes to the door to inspect further. He struggles to get the door open.
Damn doors. None of them want to open for me.
Suddenly, the pry bar pierces the door. The bar pins Skip against the wall an inch from his throat. Cut to outside trailer next morning. The sheriff, I feel like we've had this scene before, pulls onto the lot and stops next to the trailer. Skip is sitting on the steps wrapped in a blanket.
Are you Skip Bennett?
Staring at the ground, blanket over his shoulders, Skip responds.
Yeah, 2 N's, 2 T's.
The sheriff looks at the pry bar, scaling in the trailer door.
Did you get a look at who did this?
Was Skip pinned against the wall. No, I didn't see any fucking body.
The sheriff pulls out a notepad and pen.
The kids, those kids in the street.
That's my line.
Oh, that's your
The kids. Those kids in the street, they threw some rocks at me yesterday.
I doubt it was the kids. I know them. They don't act out like this.
So what happens next? I tried to pull out the pry bar. It won't budge.
Crime report will be ready tomorrow at the office.
And that was 10 pages.
That's in River City, next town, down the highway.
I guess that was 10.
That was 10.
That was 10. Yeah, that was 10. Okay. Well, we have Skip, and I think he was more or less kind of introduced in these pages. He's clearly heading into a dangerous area. We know from the earlier pages there's something lethal that seems spiritual. So seems like he's heading into some haunted mansions that might have a personal vendetta against him, and just the general vibe is Skip's in danger, but he seems blissfully unaware of it. So I think it's a good setup. I like the characters. Yeah, Diane?
Skip's an asshole, and I like it.
There you go.
And I hope he gets tortured vehemently.
Oh wow! Right.
It's a great intro to basically what is a horror. I assume this is a supernatural horror.
Robert, is this supernatural horror?
Yeah, I call it supernatural.
Yeah.
And somebody read it and called it sci-fi a little bit too, but you had to wait about another 40 pages to find that out.
Well,
see, that's the real answer. You should have gone, well, you're just going to keep reading to find out.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's a great answer.
Yeah, tell that to a development executive.
Yeah.
So you set up the scene. There is conflict there. A little action on there. What a jerk when he takes up 2 parking spots in fucking New York.
He's got an Airstream.
He's gonna whatever. Whatever. So
and a big truck. That's like 3 parking spots.
Yeah, that's like 3 parking spaces. Yeah. So, and then he probably jumped a curve in order to park too, like an ass.
And he's a white
man.
He
took up all the parking spaces, so he probably parked. It did say he took up all the parking spaces, so he probably parked crooked, where they're here.
That's kind of how I saw it.
Yeah.
So, he jumped the curve a little bit and then just kind of laid out the rest of it.
John.
Yeah. So, Skip was a very, very, likable protagonist in that you like to hate his guts. So yeah, it's the kind of guy that it's whenever something bad happens to him, we kind of don't care, which I guess is what you're setting up. And but yes, it was very likable. Some of the gags were really good. Like I mentioned with the bell on the door, that was really clever to pay that off right off the bat. And yeah, so I like where this is going so far.
Danny.
Skip was a mostly realized protagonist. So that's always nice to see. And that scene in the convenience store was fucking awesome.
Joseph.
I like that I hate Skip, and I'm interested to see where his arc goes. I want to see if he learns how to become a better person, but also part of me hopes that as soon as shit hits the fan, he actually gets worse instead of better.
Yeah.
All right, Joseph, why don't you go ahead and start off constructive? Any way to improve this?
A lot of the stuff that Danny was picking up on with the use of is when it should just be the action that's happening as it's going on. I don't know. I think the rest of it would just be like little nitpicks in terms of just slang, like saying goat and all that, and making sure that if this gets produced like 5 or 6 years from now, if that's even still in our vernacular, but who knows?
Danny.
Neither the scene in the boardroom nor the scene in New York needed to be there.
Mm-hmm.
John.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, exposition was just so totally not necessary. People talking about things to other people that already know what they're saying. It's such a cliche, and it's so overused. And yeah, I that entire boardroom scene does not have to be there. The New York scene, I'm kind of okay with because it kind of shows what kind of a dork he is. But I'm also not convinced that the first 10 pages that we read really also need to be there. Because I kind of feel like just starting on assuming Skip is our main character, our main protagonist, I kind of feel like just starting with him and going from there and introduce us to the world and the supernatural elements as our idiot protagonist learns them, I think will be much more interesting. Like if we literally like start with him in his room, dial up his zany whatever to 11, and then have him just show up in the trailer, and then he's just doing all this stuff. I think would be a much stronger opening. So a couple minor nitpicks. One, he complains about not having propane. Why didn't he buy that at the convenience store? That makes no sense. Two, as somebody who is tangentially involved in the industry of housing developments, that is not how any of this would go. Like, unless he's the developer, and if he's the developer and he's funding the development, which is not how you set this up, that he would not go there if there's no house. Like, people that buy houses or buy lots in a housing development, they don't just show up in a trailer and live there while the house magically comes together. They may buy in advance. They'll put their mortgage, get their mortgage. They may check in on it as it's being built, but they don't live there. I mean, especially like in my county, and I don't know if this is all
John, are you saying that people want to live in houses and not in fields?
Yes, because in my county, it's actually illegal to buy a lot and live in a trailer on it, unless you have to live in a mobile home park if you want to live in a trailer. If you're doing a development, the buyer lives where they currently live while the house is being built. They don't move until the house is done. That's just the way it works. They wouldn't buy. I mean, they could buy multiple lots if they're like, I want to live in this housing development, but I don't want neighbors on either side, so I'm going to buy 3 lots and I'm going to put a house in the middle, or I'm going to buy 2 lots and build a bigger house. But then you have to do the tax stuff because you have to combine those lots, because the way these parcels are all carved up, this is all the stuff the developer does, and you didn't write him as a developer, you bought him as a guy coming in to buy. So when he comes in to buy, He buys the lots that are already carved. They're already divided for tax purposes. All of these things are done, and if he's going to combine lots or anything like that, there's a whole bunch of paperwork and crap that he's got to do for all of that. So there's just a lot of things that it's one of the reasons why, like, a lot of times in these horror type genres, it's they get the dead, an uncle dies and they get a letter in the mail that says you've been left this property, and he's like, what the frick property is this? And then they show up and they don't know anything, and that's why that trope exists in these like haunted house type stories, because it's a lot easier to do that than to say he's buying a piece of land that's haunted. It's just a little bit weirder than that. I don't know. It just not a lot of that just doesn't make sense. And I can't imagine that whatever made up county and state that this, assuming that you're not basing this in a real county and state. I can't imagine that the laws and how the procedures work vary all that much from jurisdiction to jurisdiction, and a lot of that just doesn't make any sense to anybody that knows anything about how that all works. So that's just something I would try to think about, keeping it a little bit more, I don't want to say realistic in a supernatural horror film, but some things do have to be based in reality for the supernatural elements to work.
Jumping off what John said, he sort of inspired me to think about what other stuff might be useful here. It occurs to me that, like, you actually wrote in your credit roll in your intro here. That's a good time to introduce Skip, or at least Skip is traveling to the place with his Airstream. I mean, that's a sign of dude's moving. So, like, you don't need to establish, like, as hard as it seems like you are. So if you do want to start with, like, establishing the history of the creepy house, I think that's kind of cool. You know, him having the weird name in the convenience store just works. So just, like, cut to him. He's moving into this town, right? He's got the trailer. It's maybe not an Airstream. Make it you know, a U-Haul. Welcome to whatever. There's new development. He goes to the sign where the new development is, and then the visual storytelling does the work for you, right? So that would be quite efficient. But also, you know, he can tell the lady at the convenience store, like, okay, well, I'm just, like, living in the camping ground while my house gets built, but first I'm going to go check it out, or, like, whatever. Like, you can get around some of this stuff, but you do need to sort of consider it, because, like, you just have, like, a door in the ground, right? Like, it's not sure,
right? And that's the mystery, is, you know, why is that still there when everything else is gone?
It could be a door in the ground that someone put a crappy shed on top of.
In the very first scene, which you guys have
also hire a house to film in,
right? In the first scene, there's when the butler goes in and scolds the kitchen crew. He slams the basement door where those creepy little children were begging for food, and then runs down. And when he does that, he slams it so hard, the basement door sign falls off one of the hooks and kind of just swings back and forth. And that's repeated throughout as a, you know, kind of a.
I did notice that image repeating. Maybe there's a way to sort of integrate this into a house. Like, he's going to do a reno and finds it behind a wall or whatever. Like,
the house distracts from the tunnels, and that's where I want things to go. It was a house in the beginning which I destroyed, but that's in another flashback that comes up in a rather spectacular and expensive scene. There's a couple of things that you guys have said. I can clean up a lot of the way the description is written and stuff. That's just my poor writing.
Ooh, or you can go full Narnia with it and just put, like, the door is in some wooded area that's on the property but not developed. Right. Like there's another, right? So maybe there is a house and, oh, let's check out the backyard. Holy shit, what's this door?
Well, when you said door on the ground, I just imagined that
those old cellar doors,
like an old cellar door, or like a door on the ground, and you open it up, and all of a sudden a portal is down there.
Yeah, I mean, underground is magical.
You have, tornado basements, kind of stuff.
Yeah,
right.
You even have cellars, separate cellars.
Yeah. So I mean, you can have it on the property, and still like engage with that sort of scene as part of the mystery, because it might not be that specific house that the local kids who throw rocks to everyone just burned it down like it's in Detroit. I'm not sure if anyone got that reference. That's a thing people do for fun sometimes in Detroit, or at least it used to be.
Wow.
Before I don't know if you've seen Detroit. It's like the best ad for Google Maps Street View I've ever seen. A lot of the city's sort of past tense. A lot of property lots are just farmland now. But it is being reinvigorated, or at least it was up until the tariff started. Who the hell knows?
The future is always uncertain.
So, like,
wasn't there a war movie that came out like 10 years ago that was shot in Detroit because it looked like it was blown up?
Detroit's being reinvigorated. Next topic.
Yeah. So like that actually is a thing that happens to houses sometimes in America, is what I'm saying. So, okay, the creepy house where all the kids died, someone burned it down after it got dilapidated, is a legit sort of part of that you can include, especially if you're already burning it down a little bit to start.
Yeah.
Right,
go ahead.
No, I agree with what Danny and John said. You don't need the beginning, and you could literally just have him just ride in on his Airstream and just say, you can have him say like, "You got those lots over there?" "Yes, I did." So, yes, I did. I got those lots, got my Airstream. I'm going to bout there. You can just say that. And it's just like a little bit of exposition. That's a couple of lines, and you have it set up easy. So
here's another thought.
And then you can introduce like the salesman later. Oh, how are you liking the place? And then you can have that.
Yeah, then you could have like the developer there. Like, oh yeah, you finally meet me here.
Introduce your character to the audience before you tell us about your character. Is a good way to have people sympathize with your protagonist.
So another thought you could do is, especially if you want to make this guy a complete idiot, is let's say, and this would require a little bit more setup on his part. Maybe he lives in New York, and New York is New York City, and he just hates it and he wants to get out. And so maybe he's drunk or high one night and he sees the ad on TV and he impulse buys a house, which he thinks is, or he impulse buys what he thinks is a house, which turns out to be a vacant lot. So then he quits his job and drives halfway across the country to go buy this house.
Lampoon. I love it.
Without even bothering to call the realtor. He just goes online, buys it, and then he's like, woohoo, I now have the American dream. I just bought a house. I'm going to sell all my crap. I'm going to buy this trailer, and I'm going to drive halfway across the country, and I'm going to live in my new house or whatever. And then he gets there, and it's either burned down, dilapidated, and the pictures that were in the ad were all of the house before it burnt to the ground. And now he literally just bought a lot with a pile of burnt sticks on it and a storm shelter to the side that he can't get into because the door's jammed.
I like it.
And then you could have the real estate guy showing up and saying, "Hey, how do you like your house?" And he's like, "This is not what I bought." And then he's like, "Well, did you read the fine print in the contract that said?"
It's a little too much sympathy.
It's a funny idea, but you want Skip to be unlikable, right? And do you want him to be unlikable because he's an idiot, or do you want him to be unlikable because he's an asshole?
Both. Not so much an idiot, but much more that he's an asshole and extremely greedy. Yeah, the story really revolves around greed. That's the arc, if you will. and the different characters and their experience and what they do for their own selfish purposes. So
I don't know. It was just something I thought of when we were all talking about all of that. So.
Because John, that is a funny
I
setup.
want to watch the movie you just described, John. But
really, right.
I think
I like it. I mean, like, not only you can have him like sell all his stuff, but also like say "fuck you" to his manager, just walk out.
Yeah,
and then you would establish him basically as an asshole.
Well, John, that's a script that you can pitch to us next week.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think there's there and whatever John just pitched. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's actually quite good. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think with that, we don't have enough time for the old ultra violence. We'll have to wait on Serial Twins till next week.
Oh,
and I guess my script next week.
Oh, come on. We had so many people. It was a great time.
Yeah. Has
anyone
back
that new guy? It was great.
On Discord about like the Jesus and everything.
Oh, look, I'm really looking forward to I did read on Discord that in Serial Twins apparently the professor who's against the bad guy, it turns out to be the villain and goes back in time in an attempt to kill Jesus, which I am all in favor of. I'm like, this is what I love. I love like, and I commented to Dan, like, I really love like new writers in the way that, or new storytellers. And I remember like my daughter, when she was like, like 5 or 6, and she had dolls, and we'd start telling stories, like, whatever she was passionate about, whatever she liked, a puppy, a friend, whatever, like, here's a story about this thing I like, and just, like, you don't care if you like it, like, I want this stuff.
Yeah,
and like, and like that kind of confidence and passion, like, you kind of will lose it when you start to learn, I need to tell stories for other people. What is it? And it can quickly become like, okay, what crap do you want to hear?
Well, it's also like you have to learn like structure.
Yeah.
And like how does the plot go along? You start putting down all that.
Yeah.
But
there are really good stories about Gonzo stories. Like, have you guys seen Hamlet 2? It's so good.
Hamlet 2 is excellent.
Right?
So
but like
I do enjoy my Gonzo stories.
I
told him that. Yeah. And I told Preston that I'm like, there are Gonzo films out there which are extremely entertaining and very good.
Yeah.
And the way that it's written. Well, I gave an example. I went like, well, I mean, like, even like people who go overboard and over the top, Shakespeare did the exact same thing with his first tragedy, which is Titus Andronicus. I mean, like, that thing has everything that you could stick on a wall, and it is crazy. It's a crazy play, but it's entertaining.
It's really Marlovian, and I wouldn't call it crazy. If you like that, you should read Tamburlaine.
So anyway,
Tamburlaine is good. Yes,
I find the Serial Twins entertaining, and I look forward to the marrow reveal of the traveling back in time.
I would just like to say one thing about Serial Twins.
No foreshadowing at all.
I would just like to say that I did call it that that Hamilton was the bad guy because he is the only other character with a name. And I called that when he first was introduced. I was like, he's the villain because he has a name. Nobody else has a name.
No, he literally this morning. He was it like last night? You said something like, "Guess what? Gunther told us what's going on with the Serial Twins."
Yeah,
and he goes, and revealed the bad guy. And he went, "Is it Hamill? Is it Hamill?"
Of course, it's Hamill. It's the only person that could be.
Yeah.
Is it Hamill? I bet it's Hamill.
But,
and the crazy thing, and again, all of this
what a shocking
travel, all this time traveling stuff going on is all a story that has child cannibalism in it.
Yes.
Anyway, so I look forward to reading Serial Twins next week. And with that, I just want to say good night, everybody, and thanks for coming on. And I got a note from the first writer on Stage 32, and he was telling me how much he appreciated the experience. And Robert, you've been on a couple of times. What do you think?
I think it's a more honest review of the stories, or what I'm, in my case, what I'm trying to say. I get I think a more realistic reaction to what the story would be rather than the structure. Stage 32 has been pretty good to me. In fact, I took a workshop where I wrote this particular script, The Basement Remains, and the guy really helped me understand how to structure something. I changed it a lot since then. It's been changed so many times you wouldn't even recognize the first version. But it's
it's called writing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and I'm finding out the hard way.
Teaching Draco, he's getting there.
Yeah,
it's this kind of thing that this is refreshing to hear it from different creatives. As Danny said, the thing that really rung in my ear that Danny said was that, well, I do production. If I read this, it's a problem for me. And so that's one thing I have to pay attention to. But the reaction to the story itself is not something that you necessarily get when you're trying to, pitch the story to, somebody who, theoretically could produce it. Right. And you don't get really good feedback from it. Coverage is stupid. I'm sorry. I've done about five or six scripts.
Yeah.
It's just,
I've done it a couple times too.
You still have to start with coverage though. Like if coverage will get like the really obvious issues like right up front.
You're just saying that because you charge people for
coverage. You just said that you charge.
Okay. So I just got hired to do a punch up on a script I'm going to be working on set for. And I just did the coverage today, and like it gave me a structure to actually identify all the things I'm now going to pitch. We fix. Like,
and how much did you charge for that?
TBD. I was going to work with this person anyways.
Okay. So, like I said, you're only saying that because I'm just
no, dude. Like, I'm a script supervisor.
I'm just fucking with you, Danny, because I love you. Okay?
Like, are we telling the story we're trying to tell? Is one of the first questions I ask for any setup when we're filming. And
well, I wish the coverage people would do that. No, Danny, that's a big point. That's a big point. The coverage people don't really concentrate on the story. They talk around the story and what's happening with it.
Yeah, because you don't want to say this is dog shit in writing, dude.
Yeah, because you want that writer to come back and pay for more coverage.
And also, sometimes those gonzo ideas are good and publishable. Like if it's not just coverage, like many. Going back to Hamlet 2, many bad ideas can be implemented very, very well. Right? And if you haven't seen Hamlet 2, you should. It's a great movie about a terrible idea.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why the actual Hamlet 2, the diegetic one in the film, is a musical. It's about time travel. Dude meets Jesus and also God and also his own father.
Yes, it's great. You're just like, why? You're just like, but
and like saves everyone, including Ophelia. They get married at the end. It's fucking insane, and that's not a good anything. But the movie about the movie is great, and actually seeing that insane play happen is actually really heartwarming. So bad ideas are a thing, but like execution gets you real far, Robert. And that's the thing about production is here's a script. Can I imagine producing it? Like, I mean, Preston well knows we just shot Frontier Cannibal. Oh my God. Frontier Crucible. I
want to see that movie instead.
I mean, they're both pretty good.
You watch Bone Tomahawk.
Say what you will about whatever production issues may have happened. That script, you had a pretty good idea about what was going to happen. And say what you will about what we got. And honestly, I think what we got is really quite good. Yeah. We basically got what the script said we were going to get. Like, there's a level where you kind of know that you're going to get what the script says.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of writing that does not reach that level. Like you're really close to that level. But like if you haven't done production, like it's hard to a writer who's never been on a set like doesn't get it. And that is actually a thing. Like it's the same thing in comics when we have writers who've never produce something and give us like, 10 verbs for one character on each of 10 panels on a page
or tell us what a
incredible
panel
detail.
sounds like.
Yeah.
Or smells like.
Or
what it
especially
doesn't
what you
look
don't
like.
see. I love reading what we don't see in a comic. So, like, until you've actually gone through the effort of having to direct this and like seeing it happen, like you might not know about some of these issues. Luckily, we've all produced stuff here, so hopefully we're providing value to you.
Yeah, your value. I'm embarrassed to say that I have produced, but they're very small marketing type films and things of that nature. They are shot on a dime, and whatever Canadian dime is, and less than
a loony.
Yeah.
And
they're on the spot kind of thing. So I'm extremely budget sensitive on that kind of stuff. This is a whole new area though.
Yeah, make that your producer's problem, dude.
Yeah.
If the scene's great, it's gonna get in there.
Yeah. So yeah, and like as someone who's made a couple of movies now, I understand like there are certain challenges to working with a limited number of funds, but still the more effort and creativity you put in ends up costing you very little but time often, and ends up dramatically making the product better. The more time
doable. Not just better, but actually being able to be done. And I do get that. And here's the confession. I wasn't going to hold myself to anything until I got it written in some kind of form that told a story that was close to what I was thinking. And it has a lot of too much meat on the bone. And I do recognize it, not just in the language, but in how many scenes I've used to set up certain aspects of the character. That's what the value of this group is you guys cut right through it and said, we get who the character is from these 2 scenes that you wrote. What are the other 3 in there for? That's what I needed to hear. That's what coverage doesn't. They don't have the balls to say it. That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah.
They don't have the courage. As if they're worried about hurting my feelings. They're not even close. Okay. That's high school. That's high school to me. I had my feelings hurt in high school. I don't have my feelings hurt in this kind of thing. I need the guidance that says, you don't need this. Look what you did here. That's enough. Move on. Get to the next point that's really good.
Well,
that's what you guys are doing
tonight. Is working with a story editor though, and you're getting story editing out of us.
Yeah, exactly. Yes,
which is worth more money.
Yeah.
FYI, for all your other 22 people. Come over here. You're getting better value for $0.
Hey, look, you already said you're giving up money to Stage 32. Well, here we are. Yeah. Anyway,
Stage 32 has gotten you pretty far. You have something. Now let's polish that.
There we go.
Let's tighten it up. Let's do all. I mean, Joseph's script that started off as like 12 pages.
Yeah.
And now it's down to 8.
Yeah.
Now, part of that
I liked it better when it was 10, but that's just my opinion.
Sure, but that's not a full series of signatures.
Also,
I get
John,
it.
Respectfully, you're not my editor, so
I know. I'm not. I'm also. It's like I said earlier tonight. I understand the constraints you're working in, but
all right.
I do appreciate your feedback, though. It does really matter with me.
Oh, we also appreciate your feedback, Robert. This is actually really helpful for us to know where we're useful to any writers.
And next week we will go over Serial Twins and Lords of Iron 2.
I cannot wait.
And my script that I submitted last week.
And your script from last week, yes. Awesome. There we go.
TNA.
More TNA.